Chapter 301. Yinran sat on the spacious sofa in room 3 on the 10th floor. A waiter came up to her and served her a cup of hot tea. Yinran carefully observed the waiter's actions and the layout of the surrounding environment. This was a male waiter. He looked down and didn't say anything. He was very different from the greeters in the casino downstairs. After serving the tea, he silently left. The door of the private room was ajar. She could hear the movements in the corridor. This place was very different from the casino downstairs. The casino downstairs was noisy, but this place was quiet. Yinran stealthily released her spiritual sense and explored the surrounding rooms. She saw that there was no one in the 2 rooms next to her. About 4 to 5 rooms away, there were a few people gambling. Just as she entered the room, these people immediately left the room and entered the elevator. After Yinran searched the entire floor, she found that even the waiter was gone. She was the only one on the entire floor. This was abnormal. Gradually, Yinran smelled a faint floral fragrance. It was like the fragrance of wine, but also contained the smell of medicine. Yinran's pair of beautiful eyes quickly scanned the room. Under her careful observation, she saw a faint metallic luster on the roof of the room. Yinran judged for a long time. Her heart suddenly jumped. It seemed to be a fence. It seemed like this was a trap. She quickly rushed to the door. But at this moment there was a cracking sound. Countless metal fences extended along the walls of the room. It was the metallic luster that she had just discovered. She was about to use her spiritual power to rush over. But suddenly she felt dizzy. She held the edge of the sofa with her hand and slowly fell. The moment she fell, she only remembered to use an array to surround herself. Xiao Xiao was in the casino downstairs. He couldn't find Yinran. He was anxious. He opened Yinran's location and found that she was still on this floor. However, there was no map of the casino. Xiao Xiao couldn't pinpoint her specific location. He had an ominous premonition. Just now, he could see Yinran gambling in the finance room. How could Zhou Jiutian not be able to find her? Xiao Xiao's eyes were filled with gamblers who were releasing their souls, and his ears were filled with the clamor of bets being placed. His head was buzzing, and he was anxious. He told himself in his heart that he must stay calm, and that nothing would happen to Yinran. He took a deep breath, and frantically tried to think of a way. He saw that not far in front of him, there was a table where Yinran had sat before. He walked up to it, and found an empty seat. He called out to the dealer lady in the middle. "Where is that girl just now? Did she want to run away after winning so much money from me? I'm here to recoup. Find that girl for me." Xiao Xiao's voice was very loud. His rough voice did not match his perfect appearance at all. The lady who was originally dealing the cards was shocked by Xiao Xiao's appearance. But when she heard his words that sounded like a butcher's hawking, she immediately gave him a discount in her heart. What a pity that this appearance was so commonplace. Xiao Xiao continued to say fiercely, "Where is that girl? Who knows? Hurry up and call her over. If I don't recoup my losses today, my surname isn't Li." The dealer lady hurriedly persuaded him. "Sir, please be more civilized. You can't be loud here." Xiao Xiao continued to make a ruckus. "Why can't I be loud? I lost money and you can't let me keep quiet. Are you trying to suffocate me to death? I'm telling you, hurry up and find her. If you can't find her, I'll smash your stall." After saying that, he slammed his fist on the table. All the chips on the table flew into the air. The people who were gambling next to him were shocked. "Sir, don't be so agitated." The dealer lady hurriedly held down Xiao Xiao and quickly said, "Just now, a lady won a lot of money here, but she quickly left." "Left? Where did she go? I won the money for her at this very table. Can she just walk away now? Hurry up and find her for me." The dealer lady was also angry. "Sir, the guests here are very free. They can go wherever they want. Although she played at my table, she quickly left. Where do you want me to find her?" Xiao Xiao imitated the ruffian and jumped on the table. He rolled back and forth on the table, scaring the surrounding people away from the table. They didn't expect the noise to get louder and louder. The security guards and other guests crowded over to watch. Suddenly, the table was surrounded by 3 layers of people. The security guards went forward to pull Xiao Xiao down, but Xiao Xiao was too strong. They couldn't pull him down at all. He just kept shouting, "Find her for me. I want to get my money back. Find her for me. I want to get my money back. Sir, if you keep doing this, we'll send you to the police for disturbing the order of the casino." A security guard threatened Xiao Xiao. "What crime did I commit? Isn't your casino open for people to gamble? Don't tell me you won't let me gamble when I want to. Will people come to play in the future?" When the surrounding onlookers saw this scene, some of them laughed, and some even sympathized with Xiao Xiao. "Look at how handsome this handsome guy is. He must have lost too much. Why don't you help him get it back?" The surrounding people were all talking at once, causing the whole scene to be in a state of chaos. Finally, a guest said, "I saw that girl just now. It seems that a manager invited her to a VIP room upstairs. He said that she won more money and was qualified to enter a room on a higher floor. Don't make a scene here. Go upstairs and look for her." Xiao Xiao heard that and went upstairs. "Which floor did she go to? If you don't tell me, I won't leave here." The security guard couldn't help but say, "She's on the 10th floor. All our rooms are on the 10th floor. Go up to the 10th floor and look for her yourself." Xiao Xiao got his answer and immediately got down from the table. He ran to the elevator like a wisp of smoke. The security guard behind him couldn't catch up. "Don't tell me he's crazy." After Yanran entered her array, she woke up after a while. She used her spiritual power to pull out the poison in her body. Soon, her eyes became clear, and she returned to her original cold and unaffected state. However, she knew that since she had been discovered, she might as well beat them at their own game. But she didn't know why the people here had caught her. Did they know her identity? Or did they just think that she had won too much money? It was like this in the casino. If you won too much, they wouldn't let you go. Thus, Yanran lay on the sofa motionlessly. She was like a hunter waiting for an opportunity to catch her prey. Old Tan and Zhou Jiutian smiled as they watched Yanran's series of actions. Finally, she lay down softly on the sofa. "Old Tan, your room is good. It's so well equipped. You can do anything you want. That's only if she's willing to enter our casino. Those who can enter the casino are not necessarily good people. It's her bad luck to fall into our hands. If there was a real god of gamblers who won a lot of money from you, would he also be killed by you like this? Of course. How can a casino lose money? Can we go take a look?" Zhou Jiutian couldn't wait. "I realize that you really treat this girl differently. Wait a moment. I'll get them to remove all the hallucinogens first." Old Ten gave an order. "Remove all the drugs in the room and retract all the fences. Let's go and see this oriental beauty you mentioned." Xiao Xiao wanted to use the elevator to go up to the 10th floor, but he found that the elevator button on the 10th floor was gray. He couldn't go up at all. His heart skipped a beat. He knew that something must have happened to Yanran. He went straight to the 11th floor and walked out of the elevator. Xiao Xiao was about to walk in when he was stopped by the receptionist at the elevator. "Please show me your VIP card." Xiao Xiao didn't have any card. He could only smile at the beauty and say, "Beauty, I came in with that lady just now. The card is on her." The hostess looked at the fat woman in front of her, then looked at Xiao Xiao's model-like figure and face. She nodded thoughtfully and pursed her lips into a smile. She lowered her head and gestured for Xiao Xiao to go ahead. Then, she asked the lady to confirm it. Xiao Xiao knew that she had misunderstood. At this moment, he could only walk to the fat woman's side and pat her on the shoulder. "Hello, may I have the honor of buying you a drink?" The fat woman was about 30 years old. Her face was pink like the putty on the wall, and her scarlet mouth was especially prominent on her face. She probably didn't expect that such a handsome man would take the initiative to buy her a drink. The woman's flesh trembled, making Xiao Xiao feel that he would fall to the ground if he wasn't careful. Then the woman smiled in surprise, for words came out of her mouth. She was very happy. Then, she took Xiao Xiao's arm and pulled him in. Xiao Xiao turned around and made an okay gesture to the receptionist. He successfully entered the 11th floor. After entering, Xiao Xiao realized that this place was simply another entertainment world. There were private rooms and a lobby. The people here were even more daring. Just like this fat woman, who had been putting her hand on his hip for a long time. Next to her, There were even some impudent people who had reached their hands into the waitress's breasts. Xiao Xiao endured and walked to the side of the wine rack. He handed the fat woman a glass of wine and took one for himself. Finally, he said to the woman, "Here's to you. I hope you have a good time tonight. I'm that lady's companion. See you later." The fat woman looked in the direction Xiao Xiao pointed. There were 4 or 5 women standing together and chatting in the direction he had pointed. By the time she turned around, Xiao Xiao had already disappeared. Finally, the fat woman rushed to the 4 or 5 women who were chatting and yelled at them, "I want that man. Whose companion is he? He's mine tonight. Don't even think about fighting with me." The 4 or 5 women were dumbfounded. "Big sister, we're all here to have fun. Why are you fighting over a companion? Who knows how many people they have to accompany every day? Are you that reluctant?" Chapter 302. Zhou Jiutian and Old Tan got off the elevator. When the elevator door opened on the 10th floor, Zhou Jiutian could smell a faint fragrance. "Is it the hallucinogen you mentioned just now? Your nose is really sharp. People who cultivate are indeed different. I can't smell it at all," Old Tan praised. "I'm more sensitive to smells. This has nothing to do with cultivation. It's a habit I developed in country am." The two of them walked into the room while talking and laughing. At this time, the room had returned to the appearance of an official casino. Zhou Jiutian saw Yanran on the sofa and walked over to squat beside her. At this time, the beautiful girl was unconscious like a sleeping princess. Her clothes were wrinkled and her body was slanted sideways. Her legs were crossed and half her face was buried in the sofa. Zhou Jiutian adjusted Yanran's face and turned her body to lie on the sofa. Then he stroked her cheek. Her delicate skin was especially smooth under his rough fingers. It was like a fine jade without a single flaw. However, his hand was so dark in comparison. It was so dark that Zhou Jiutian pinched it hard. Yanran's little face immediately turned red. "This is the oriental beauty you were talking about." Old Tan also squatted down and observed carefully. "Her skin is really good. Look, you can leave a red mark with just a gentle pinch." What attracted me the most about her was her forbearance. At that time, my subordinates had taken away all of her spiritual energy, causing her to fall into a quagmire. My subordinates had also ruthlessly stepped on her many times, but they didn't even bend her back. Later, I didn't expect that she would actually find the antidote for the spiritual transformation pill and recover her spiritual energy. Step by step, she removed my subordinate's family from the entire cultivation world. Oh, that's really a proud and amazing woman. See, even you are praising her. Of course, I am a little reluctant. Her righteous aura always made me feel ashamed of my own inferiority. We are both top cultivators. But why am I the evil one while she is the righteous one? If the two of us can work together in this world, reach the peak, look down on the earth, and make everyone submit to the two of us, that would be an achievement. Zhou Jiutian looked at Yanran's face and said with emotion, "What a pity. This is the biggest joke that God has played on the two of you. The two of you have different beliefs and values. It's impossible for you to be together." Yes. Zhou Jiutian stood up and sat on the sofa beside Old Tan. The waiter served 2 glasses of wine. Zhou Jiutian looked at the sparkling red wine in the glass and shook it gently. "If I didn't join the organization long ago, I wouldn't be where I am now." Old Tan patted Zhou Jiutian on the shoulder. "That's right. Don't be swayed by a girl. That country didn't give you any benefits, and your happy life only started after you joined the organization. Look at you now. You have status, and money. The only regret is that you have a woman. But how can anyone really spend the rest of their life with the woman they love? Women are very important when you're young, and that's because of your hormones. But at our age, what we want more is stability. If this girl has the same thoughts as you and shares the same beliefs, then I won't object to the two of you being together. But if she stands on the opposite side of the Federation, then I advise you to be ruthless. You have to know that there are many women who will come and go as you please. The most important thing is that you have a strong body. The Federation won't mistreat you." Zhou Jiutian was silent when he heard this, but Yanran's heart was in turmoil. Before the two of them entered the room, Her phone had already blocked all signals and turned on the recording function. She had also guessed that Zhou Jiutian was a parasite in the cultivation world, but she didn't expect him to have another identity. He was a spy from Country M. This explained everything. It was no wonder that Zhou Jiutian had deliberately sent Minister Tian overseas. If he did not have any influence in Country M, who could have allowed him to do whatever he wanted in Country M? Country M was another prison for cultivators that Zhou Jiutian had created. Although power could corrupt the soul, the power that Zhou Jiutian obtained from Minister Tian had already allowed him to reach the top. If he could really bring the cultivation world to a new peak under his management, Yanran wouldn't oppose his leadership. But she didn't expect that his other identity was actually under the leadership of a foreign federation. The sense of national justice surged in Yanran's heart. A kind of betrayal ignited Yanran's anger. Zhou Jiutian had forgotten his own country. He was being filial to a foreign bandit. Zhou Jiutian listened to Old Tan's words. Originally, he was using Yanran's relationship with her, so he no longer hesitated. Okay, I'll deal with her. Sai, wait a minute. Isn't it a pity that such a beauty is dealt with directly? Old Tan stopped Zhou Jiutian. Why are you interested? Zhou Jiutian looked up at Old Tan. I'm not interested in oriental beauties, but I have a lot of guests from Country R. Like you, they are very passionate about oriental beauties. Can't they be put to use? Are you willing to? Old Tan looked at Zhou Jiutian with a teasing gaze. Whatever, but I'm afraid of long delays. How long can this medicine of yours last? My medicine is very effective. It can usually last for 3 days and 2 nights. I think this is indeed a stunner. Recently, a guest from Country R is also our partner. I was worried about how to entertain him, but I didn't expect one to come knocking on my door. Zhou Jiutian caressed Yanran's smooth face. He's really lucky. Alright, then I'll make the arrangements. Jiutian, I'm also helping you. I'm letting you completely give up on this girl, so that you won't ruin the big picture. You have to remember, those who do big things can't be dragged down by the wind, flowers, snow and moon. Zhou Jiutian knew that Old Tan was right. He gritted his teeth and said, I'll listen to you. Xiao Xiao circled around the 11th floor, but he couldn't find the exit. He simply knocked out a waiter and changed into his clothes. Then he openly searched the 11th floor. Other than the hall, the doors of the other rooms were tightly shut. Xiao Xiao walked around and realized that there was a corridor around the elevator, and all the windows were in the room. He had to enter the room to go down to the 11th floor. Oh, there's a good one. Not bad, just what I need. Send her to my room. A man from Country R was talking on the phone when he walked past Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao didn't move his eyes. A stream of devil energy shot out from his fingers, and the man's trousers were immediately cut open. After the man finished the phone call, Xiao Xiao immediately stepped forward and said, Sir, what can I do for you? The man didn't understand. What's the matter? Xiao Xiao gestured at the man's trousers with his eyes. The man exclaimed, F***CK. When did you cut it? Come with me to the room and help me change my clothes. It's my pleasure. In this way, Xiao Xiao finally followed the man into the room on the 11th floor. The facilities of the room were very similar to the previous presidential suite. It seemed that the decoration here was similar. The open space was very empty. The most tragic thing was that there were only floor-to-ceiling windows in the room. There was no independent window to look at the night outside. The man asked Xiao Xiao to help him find a pair of trousers. Xiao Xiao walked to the wardrobe and helped him take one. He wanted to leave immediately and think of a way. Unexpectedly, there was a knock on the door. Xiao Xiao had no choice but to open the door. He saw 2 men carrying a bag in. There must be a person inside. This is a gift for you, sir. Please accept it. Xiao Xiao had to take the bag and carry it on his shoulder. It was not too heavy. Put it on the bed. I won't go out. You can go. This is your tip. The man pointed to the tip on the table. Xiao Xiao took the initiative to bend down and take it. He bowed and turned to leave. The moment he turned around and closed the door, the man opened the bag, revealing a beautiful and refined face. At this time his eyes opened. Then Xiao Xiao saw the man fall backward. Yanran. Xiao Xiao could not believe it. He almost missed Yanran. After Yinran came out of the bag, she glanced at the man on the ground, and then walked to Xiao Xiao. Let's leave here quickly. Zhou Jiutian is here. This is their territory. We'll find another chance. Then the two of them dressed up in the room. Yinran changed her appearance greatly. The two of them walked out of the main door of the casino. As soon as they went out, Yinran walked to the corner in front of the hotel, and directly knocked down a man. The man who followed us is also Zhou Jiutian's man. We can't stay in the original hotel. Let's go to another one. Xiao Xiao and Yinran moved very quickly. Now they were racing with Zhou Jiutian. After they found that the man was in trouble, they would definitely know that Yinran had escaped. Then they would definitely search everywhere. How about we go back directly? No, we can't go back. We have to catch Zhou Jiutian. After getting in a taxi, Xiao Xiao and Yinran quickly returned to the hotel. They collected all the evidence and quickly checked out. Yinran called Xiao Lu and asked him to hide directly with Minister Tian. They did not need to stay in the hotel and rented a room. Then she and Xiao Xiao went to the most chaotic area of City A and rented a room. The advantage of this place was that no one would check their passports. As long as they had money, it was a good place to hide. As soon as Xiao Xiao settled down, he took out the computer and deleted, or replaced all the information about himself, Yinran and Xiao Lu on the internet. From now on, they would not be able to find him on the internet. Yinran praised Xiao Xiao greatly. It seems that you really came in handy when I asked you to learn computer science. Of course they ran. Your Xiao is awesome. Chapter 303. Every minute and every second of the night was torturous. Simmering slowly over a small fire was far less satisfying than stir-frying over a large fire. However, in the darkness before dawn, no one could sleep well. Xiao Xiao and Yinran finally settled down. But Zhou Jiutian couldn't sleep because of the matter of giving Yinran to the guests of Country R. Old Tan said that in order to prevent him from thinking too much at night, he arranged a foreign girl for him. But he didn't expect that Zhou Jiutian would be so upset that he drove her out in less than an hour. He was always a little worried that one wrong step would lead to another. He should have destroyed Yinran's spiritual power first, and then given it to the guests of Country R. But when he came to his senses and wanted to remedy it, it was already too late. He smoked in the room all night and carefully thought about the follow-up possibilities. It wasn't until the morning that he fell asleep. In his dream, he dreamed that Yinran rushed to him with a knife, but he couldn't move at all. Around them, there were war drums, and countless soldiers were waving flags and shouting. He was the only enemy on the magnificent battlefield. He saw Yinran's hand holding the knife above her head, and all the voices stopped abruptly. He only heard her scolding loudly. Zhou Jiutian, you are not a Chinese. You are the scum of the nation and the traitor of mankind. You have done all kinds of evil. Now it's time to take your life to pay tribute to those who have been tortured by you. Just as he finished speaking, the war drums began to beat rhythmically from slow to fast, like a rushing war horse. Yinran was still hundreds of meters away, but in the blink of an eye, the blade had already landed on his head. Yinran's speed was too fast, and at this moment, the sound of the war drums seemed to break through the horizon, reverberating from the ninth heaven to his eardrums, urgent and frantic. Zhou Jiutian was abruptly jolted awake, raising his right arm with difficulty to block in front of his head. He struggled to open his sleeping eyes and saw a bright and luxurious room. He was so frightened that he broke out in a cold sweat. The feeling of being unable to move in his sleep was still fresh in his memory, and he was extremely scared. Fortunately, it was just a dream. He gasped for breath, took out his mobile phone, and called Old Tan. Is the guest of Country R finished? Hurry up and send her back. I want to destroy her spiritual power. Zhou Jiutian couldn't sleep anymore. He got up and washed up, sat in the room and waited anxiously. Boss, something big happened. The guest of Country R fainted in the guest room and only woke up this morning. He expressed great doubts about the security measures of our casino and is now making a fuss. Old Tan hurriedly got out of bed. He didn't even have time to put on his coat and hurried to appease the guest of Country R. The guest of Country R was aggressive. We are in a cooperative relationship. I didn't expect that my security in your country would not be guaranteed at all. I suspect that the woman yesterday was arranged by you to steal our national intelligence. What are you up to? I will go back and tell my government about this matter, and let them hold you accountable. They must make you pay the price to alleviate the humiliation I suffered this time. Old Tan nodded and bowed. He couldn't wait to kneel on the ground. He didn't expect that a woman would cause such an uproar. I'm sorry. We didn't know that this woman would scare you. It's our fault. We will try our best to make up for it. May I ask if you have any other losses last night? When the guest of country heard this, he became even angrier. How do I know if there are any other losses? I was dizzy and I didn't even see that woman's face clearly. How do you want me to know if there are any losses? When Old Tan heard that he didn't see the woman's face clearly, it was easy to handle. He immediately asked someone to send his favorite Oriental woman to the room of the guest of country. My honorable guest, we were negligent last night and let this woman take advantage of us. We have already captured her. You can do whatever you want as long as you can vent your anger. The guest of country looked at the woman kneeling on the ground. She was gentle and weak and looked quite good. It seemed that she was the best treasure they had. He snorted. Then stay here first. I'll take a look at the goods. Old Tan gritted his teeth so hard that they almost shattered. This was his original treasure. He really spat out a mouthful of blood when he gave it away just like that. The worst thing was that Yanran had actually escaped. She was completely unaffected by the drug. He was shocked. Didn't that mean that he had heard his conversation with Zhou Jiutian? Jiutian, something happened. That Yanran escaped last night. Zhou Jiutian was already feeling uneasy. When he heard this result, it was as expected. He crushed the cigarette butt in his hand. The temperature of nearly 700 degrees burned his skin, but he didn't feel it at all. Old Tan searched the entire city. You must capture her at all costs. Reporting to boss, there is no such person in all the hotels. Reporting to boss, there is no such person in all the airports. Reporting to boss, there is no information about this person on the internet. Reporting to boss, all the people we originally locked up have disappeared. Old Tan and Zhou Jiutian listened to the reports of their subordinates every hour. Their hearts were in turmoil. They didn't expect this Yanran to be so capable. Old Tan finally admitted that he had underestimated her. Jiutian, you're right. This woman is too powerful. She's definitely a big problem. One by one, the content of the conversations between the higher-ups of the small circle, the military drawings of some countries, and the parameters of some core technologies were all sent out of the country by Zhou Jiutian, so that country M would be clear about China's trump card, so that the country would have no secrets on the negotiation table, and so that the country would have no bargaining chips in foreign relations. After reading all the documents, Yanran was so angry that she slammed the mouse on the table and said angrily, "Since ancient times, all traitors and betrayers have been tolerated by the people and the law. This kind of sinner who betrays his country and compatriots will forever be nailed to the pillar of shame and will be reviled for all eternity." Her chest rose and fell, and her cheeks were red with anger. She wanted to get up from Qiao Zhao's body, but she was held down by Qiao Xiao. Yanran, calm down. Don't be impulsive. Yanran closed her eyes and leaned against Qiao Zhao's chest for a long time before she finally calmed down. Xiao, I'm going to send this series of evidence to the most powerful people in the country. I believe that someone will bring him to justice. In the following days, Yanran and Qiao Xiao worked day and night. The thick paper of 100,000 words was finally sorted out after 10 days and nights without sleep, and the various evidence attached at the back was as high as 1G. At the end of the paper, Yanran left 7 or 8 blank pages. Qiao Xiao was puzzled. Yanran looked into his eyes and said, Xiao, the path I chose is a very dangerous one, but it is also a path that bears the burden of righteousness in the world. Since you are my lover, I hope that you will walk down this path with me. The last 7 or 8 pages are for all of us in the cultivation world to sign. I will take the path of real name reporting and submit it through the highest formal procedures of the country. The more people sign, the more weight it will have, and the more it will attract the attention of the higher-ups. However, this may succeed, but it may also fail. Do you dare? Yinran, look at what you're saying. What do you mean by do I dare? Even if you want to take my life now, it's just a matter of a word. Your belief is my belief, and I will definitely help you achieve what you want to do. I've already said that you're my goddess, and you're my eternal love. My only regret is that you're more capable than me. You've already paved the way for many things, and I didn't let you enjoy life at home. As the crown prince, I'm not competent enough to let my crown princess work so hard, and instead, I've become a parasite eating rice at home. Yinran, you've finally successfully raised me into a dandy who belongs to only you. Yinran was amused by Xiao Xiao. Maya Xiao, don't belittle yourself. If it wasn't for your help, how could I be so capable? However, I like that you are my playboy. Chapter 304. Xiao Xiao is delighted to see Yinran smile. The tense atmosphere of the past few days has finally eased a little. Then I'm going to live up to my identity as a playboy. He directly carries Yinran into the bathroom and turns on the shower. Yinran, the conditions here are limited. There's no bathtub for you to take a bath. But I want you to relax and wash away all the tiredness of the past few days. Yinran doesn't refuse. Instead, she hooks her arms around his neck and winks. You mean we'll take a bath together? Xiao Xiao originally just wanted to help Yinran take off her clothes and oil her. He didn't expect Yinran to be so proactive. He is tongue-tied for a moment. Aran, can I? Yinran's little hand has returned from his neck to his collar. Her slender fingers slide over his Adam's apple. Xiao Xiao can't help swallowing saliva. Yinran's eyes are fixed on him. Her red lips are slightly opened, and she utters a yes. Then, her soft and boneless little hands touched his buttons. 1, 2, 3. The bathroom is hot, and the steam gradually wraps around their bodies. Their clothes become wet. Their sensitive skin can feel the closeness of the cloth more and more. The steam in the air invades their eyelids. Their eyes, which are glued together like magnets, become more sticky, like a 10,000-year gel. Yinran leans close to Xiao Xiao's ear and whispers, Ah Xiao, you've worked hard during this period. Do you want a reward today? Xiao Xiao's eyes suddenly widen in the wet mist. Surprise explodes in his eyes. Aran! He can't help but put his arms around Yinran's waist. But a slender finger touches Xiao Xiao's forehead. Don't rush. After saying that, Yinran's two hands went down and gently took off Xiao Xiao's shirt. Looking at the well-defined 8-pack abs, Yinran immediately blushed. But she didn't stop and began to gently unbuckle Xiao Xiao's belt. Xiao Xiao's throat moved violently, and he said in a hoarse voice, Aran! With great difficulty, Yinran unbuckled the belt that was not easy to undo. She was already sweating a little. In fact, her heart was beating like a drum. It was her first time seducing Xiao Xiao, and it was really challenging her bottom line. She stopped Xiao Xiao's hand that was about to hug her. She took a step back and touched her collar with her fingers. Her hair was a little in the way. Yinran shook her hair to the right. But she didn't know that the flirtatious way she shook her hair made Xiao Xiao stare straight. Yinran deliberately glanced at Xiao Xiao. Seeing that his eyes were a little red, Yinran's self-confidence grew a little. She slowly unbuttoned her clothes like she did on TV. Her movements were extremely slow. She unbuttoned her clothes a little. Xiao Xiao looked at the white and tender shoulders that were gradually revealed. In the dense steam, his mouth and tongue became even more dry. When she unbuttoned the 4th button, Yinran's top was almost down to her waist. Xiao Xiao couldn't hold back anymore. He went forward and tore off the last button. He lifted Yinran up by the waist and sat her down on the sink. Then, like a crazy and intense wolf, he pounced on her. Yinran had prepared a few moves in her mind, but before she could execute them, she was led astray by Xiao Xiao. The two of them didn't know how they bathed in the end. They only knew that they went directly from the sink to the shower. They also didn't know how they took off their clothes. They only knew that they were completely clean. They also didn't know when they finally walked out of the bathroom. They only knew that in the end, Xiao Xiao said in Yinran's ear, I like this reward. I want it next time. The two young bodies were completely relaxed, sweeping away the tiredness brought about by their many days of hard work. The two of them fooled around, without restraint for the whole night. Xiao Xiao was really crazy that night. He licked Yinran's outer layer of precious fur clean, not leaving a single strand of hair behind. Yinran also did her best to satisfy all of Xiao Xiao's bottomless requests. But in the end, Xiao Xiao really couldn't take it anymore. Aran, do we still have to wait until the day of the wedding? I really can't take it anymore. Yinran buried her head firmly in his chest. Her small head moved up and down as she said in a low voice, I don't know, you can see for yourself. Xiao Xiao really felt that he had dug a big hole for himself. He wanted to give Yinran the best of everything, but he couldn't bear to be intimate with Yinran every time. In the end, he gritted his teeth, wrapped Yinran's body in a blanket, and then hugged her in his arms like an octopus. Yinran poked her cute little head out of the blanket. She opened her blurry eyes and asked innocently with a sleepy gaze, Xiao, don't you want to continue? You're not comfortable yet, right? Xiao Xiao directly used his lips to fiercely cover the pair of eyes that dragged him into the abyss of desire. You're tired. Go to sleep. Yinran didn't understand what was going on. After muttering something, she went to report with Zhou Gong. Xiao Xiao really had the heart to die. Yinran was good at everything. She could be sweet, gentle, strong, soft, and flirtatious. However, time passed too slowly. Although the wedding day was just around the corner, to Xiao Xiao, it was as far away as thousands of years. He had to cross thousands of mountains and rivers to reach it. Looking at Yinran sleeping in his arms, he gently kissed her cheek. My crown princess, wait for the wedding day. I'll give you the happiest moment. Old Tan and Zhou Jiutian had been tracking her for a long time. Even Zhou Jiutian had personally gone out. However, finding a person in a city, a metropolis with tens of millions of people, was like finding a needle in a haystack. After searching for so long, there are still no clues. I suspect that she has already left a city. After all, a city is our territory. It's too dangerous for her to stay here. Perhaps she went to another city and thought of a way to leave country. Old Tan analyzed. Based on my understanding of her, she won't compromise so easily. She must be hiding somewhere and waiting for an opportunity to make a move. I feel that there's something wrong with our search strategy. Since the laborers that we originally locked up have been rescued, they will definitely think of a way to send them back to their country. There are two ways to return to their country. One is through the proper channels, and the other is through smuggling. Zhou Jiutian had been smoking especially fiercely these past few days. Now he was about to light another one. Old Tan took away his cigarette. You should smoke less. It's not the time for you to be so troubled. A little girl can't stir up big waves. Even if she eavesdropped on our conversation, what can she do? Without any other evidence, do you think she can do anything to you? That's true, but you don't know how good this girl's brain is. With just a little clue, she can make up a moving and logical story. Zhou Jiutian still took back the cigarette from Old Tan's hand and lit it between his fingers. You also said that she only told a beautiful story. No one will ruin a person because of a story. We're only capturing her now because she knows our secret, and we don't want a second person to know about it. But I don't think it will affect you much. Old Tan looked at Zhou Jiutian's mature and charming handsome face and shook his head. Jiutian, I always thought that you were the most stable. I didn't expect you to be so scared by a girl. Zhou Jiutian didn't say anything else. He knew that Old Tan wouldn't feel much if he wasn't in it. Anyway, let's look for it from another line, especially the place where the black market sells passports. Sister Yanran, the place where the black market sells passports seems to have been targeted. I went there a few times but couldn't buy it. Little Six's voice sounded from the phone. This was the white card they had bought at the last minute for communication purposes. Tell me the details. So I've already found someone who can get a passport, but we agreed to talk about it the next day. But when I went the next day, I found out that he was being watched. I was so scared that I didn't dare to show up. Little Six, if you can't get a passport here, then you have to think of a way to leave a city. It shouldn't be difficult to get one elsewhere. That's what I thought too. However, we have nearly 10 people here now. If we leave, our target will probably be bigger. It's fine to hide. How about this? Rent a truck in advance. Tonight, I'll get Xiao Xiao to send you guys away. Drive a little further, and think of a way to return home. Good. Then I'll go prepare. When will we leave tonight? Pick up the crowd and leave the city. 9 o'clock. Little Six listened to Yinran's instructions and rented a large truck. Everyone disguised themselves and got into the container at the back. Little Six was in charge of driving, and in a place where they didn't notice, someone had already noticed something unusual. He took a video and immediately sent it back to Old Tan's phone. He Jiutian, look at these people. Do you know them? Zhou Jiutian looked at the video carefully. These people were all familiar, because it had been a long time, and after the torture of life, he basically couldn't recognize them. However, when he saw Minister Tian, who was walking at the back because of his limp, he smiled. So you're hiding here. You finally showed up. It seems that you're going to run away, but why don't I see Yinran? Oh, that's right. Now you can rest assured. Since you found them, smoke less. I'll send someone to catch them all. These people are not to be feared. As long as Yinran is not here, they are no match for you. Keep an eye on this car. As soon as Yinran appears, inform me to take action immediately. At 9 o'clock in the evening, the truck turned 7 or 8 corners and finally met a person at the entrance of a 5-star hotel. Then it immediately drove out of the city. They picked up someone at the entrance of the hotel. But it's a man, not a girl as you said. The subordinate drove 3 cars and followed closely behind, reporting to Old Tan from time to time. Zhou Jiutian was a little curious. What does he look like? He looks about 50 years old. His face is full of beard. He's slightly fat and quite tall. There's nothing special about him. Zhou Jiutian searched for this person in his heart, but he couldn't match him. Could it be another person he had locked up here before? He had done too many evil things. Other than Minister Tian, he couldn't even remember who else he had done. Continue to observe. Just like that, Zhou Jiutian's efforts were all for naught. He had always wanted to capture Yinran, but he didn't expect that Yinran would directly become the background, and the one who was in front of him would be Xiao Xiao. Chapter 305. It was not that Yinran was lazy. Firstly, she was confident in Xiao Xiao's skills. Secondly, she was really busy these 2 days. She packed up all the evidence and sent it back to the country through a special secret channel. At the same time, she sent back the signature page signed by her and Xiao Xiao and asked all his subordinates in the cultivation circle to sign it. In fact, this should be announced to all the members in person. However, the impact of this matter was too great, and she was still worried that the news would leak. Secondly, she really could not leave now. After she was done with all this, there was still one big thing to do, which was to arrest Zhou Jiutian and bring him to justice. What she needed to do now was to lure the snake out of its hole. She handed this matter over to her capable subordinates in the country to handle personally. As long as the petition was signed, she could report Zhou Jiutian in the name of the entire cultivation world. She believed that in the current clean society, the country would no longer tolerate the existence of such spies and parasites. She was waiting for the fairest judgment of Zhou Jiutian. Xiao Xiao got into the car and sat in the front passenger seat. Little Six was shocked. Who are you? I'm your brother Qiao. It was Yinran who insisted on dressing me up like this and covering my peerless face. Little Six was amused by Xiao Xiao. He looked carefully at his dressing. He had a big beard on his face, and his whole face was painted black. He really did look like a 50-year-old man. But brother Qiao, I can understand that your face is made up, but what about your body? Did Sister Yinran feed you during this period of time? Xiao Xiao proudly took out several balls of cotton from his buttocks and waist. Look, this is how I got fat. Originally, Sister Yinran wanted me to dress up as a woman and stuff cotton into my chest. Later, if I didn't insist, there would be no such tall woman, so she gave up. Little Six laughed heartily. Brother Qiao, you and Sister Yinran are both talents. The two of them chatted and laughed, but the speed of the car was not affected at all. As long as they could drive fast, Little Six would drive the car like an arrow. After a while, Xiao Xiao found that something was wrong. There were always a few cars following them closely. They had been following them for several streets. As expected, Yinran guessed correctly. Little Six, someone is following us. We must have been discovered. Hey, racing? He can't beat me in this game. Sit tight. Little Six stepped on the accelerator, and with a loud boom, the car made a sharp right turn on the road. Between the two cars on the right, he dashed to the opposite side and quickly drove in the opposite direction. Xiao Zhao's body almost flew out from the sudden turn. He quickly grabbed the handrail and said, Xiaolu, you're really something. You're driving a 380. Looks like you've been practicing a lot. This car is not bad. I want to drive other cars, but I haven't found anyone yet. Little Six looked at the panicked cars behind them that were also following them and making turns continuously. However, they could not turn their heads no matter how hard they tried. He laughed happily. However, as they adjusted their direction, it was directly the opposite of the route they had originally planned. Little Six turned back at the next exit. However, after driving for a long time, he realized that he was walking right into a trap. The cars that were following them did not follow them. They directly intercepted them at the main road out of the city. F***CK, these guys, they actually saw through our intentions so clearly. City A is such a big city. Why is there only one road out? There's another road that leads to Death Valley. Didn't we go there last time? Sigh, the infrastructure here is not as good as in our country. In our country, we can go anywhere we want. Here, we still have to fight them head-on. Little Six's words were not without reason. These cars had directly blocked this road. Many cars that wanted to leave the city stopped here and cursed. However, after these people took out their guns and fired a few shots into the sky, they immediately became obedient. Everyone immediately turned their cars around and drove into the city. In the end, only Little Six's van rushed directly towards them. At this critical moment, Xiao Xiao hurriedly pulled Little Six back. Their cars are bulletproof. Your car is just an ordinary truck. How can it beat them? Hurry up and stop. We need to hide first. Little Six looked and realized that it was true. The row of cars in front of them were all as sturdy as armored vehicles. He sighed. These scumbags even have better equipment than us. He followed the cars that were returning to the city and turned his car around. He stopped about 100 steps away from them under the shade of a tree. From afar, he was directly blocked. Xiao Xiao asked Little Six to wait in the car. He got out of the car alone and channeled his demonic energy. He flew towards the three cars from the side of the darkness. He was worried that Zhou Jiutian would not be there. Yanran said that Zhou Jiutian's cultivation was very high. If he met him, he would really cause some trouble. If he could not complete the mission given by Yanran, it would be a sin. However, the reward after completing the mission made Xiao Xiao very excited. Xiao Xiao sneaked forward and used his demonic energy to merge himself into the darkness. He was like a leopard walking in the night, only revealing a pair of bright eyes. He saw about 15 people in the three cars, all of them holding heavy weapons in their hands. It seemed that this group of people were fugitives who swore to kill them all. Originally, Zhou Jiutian had only detained this group of people. It seemed that these people were sent by the casino owner to kill them all. If those heavy weapons were fired, the entire van would be turned into ashes. Xiao Xiao directly took out the totem and chanted the incantation. In front of the three cars, a 10,000 beast formation was set up. Golden small swords flew towards the three cars like a roulette, forming a circle in the night sky. Every small sword emitted a dazzling light, and in a flash, the 15 people seemed to be in a primitive forest. What welcomed them was a frenzied tide of beasts. The earth-shaking roars of the beasts were like a wild tide, and the towering trees in the primitive forest were knocked down by them. In addition to beasts, what welcomed the 15 people were also falling tree trunks. Looking at the huge beasts baring their fangs and brandishing their claws, they couldn't name them at all. Just a horn could directly lift them up into the sky. Their eyes were filled with great fear. And at the same time, they were so scared that they peed their pants and quickly turned to run. The 15 people were chased by these beasts. Some hid, some climbed trees, some fired guns, and the weapons in their hands were constantly released. The earth-shattering sound caused by the heavy weapons also scared the beasts. But beasts were like this, they would never admit defeat. When they saw their prey, they would have the courage to face death. When one beast was knocked down, another would quickly catch up. The beasts were also chasing and biting each other. The vibration caused by the heavy weapons made them think that it was an earthquake, and these beasts ran even more happily. The heavy weapons were fast, but the beasts were much faster than them. Before they could reload the weapons for the second time, they were directly torn to pieces by the beasts. Before they died, they all saw the contempt in the eyes of these beasts. The weak animals still wanted to fight against them, but before they could close their eyes, a heavy beast's foot directly crushed the heavy weapons in their hands. Xiao Xiao said in his heart, "Who asked you to help the evildoers? The sooner you die, the sooner you can be reincarnated. Don't come looking for me. If you want revenge, go look for those beasts." He watched as these people waved their hands and feet like crazy, and not long after, they all fell to the ground and died. He got into a car and drove the impregnable armored car to the side, leaving the width of a car to pass through. Then, he instructed Little Six to drive the van directly through. Little Six looked at the broken limbs and wreckage on the ground, and his heart was filled with admiration. Sister Yanran was already a godly existence, and he didn't expect Brother Qiao to be no less inferior. He nodded at Brother Qiao, waved his hand, and whistled away with a group of witnesses. "Boss, the people we sent out can't be contacted now." A subordinate hurriedly reported to Old Tan. "What do you mean can't be contacted? Is there no signal?" Old Tan was shocked, and Zhou Jiutian sat up straight. "There is a signal. The location is at an intersection outside the city, but no one answered." "Then why don't you send someone to take a look?" Old Tan suddenly raised his voice. He had an ominous feeling. After about half an hour, news finally came back from outside the city. "Boss, all 15 people are dead, and their weapons are all crushed. Everyone is in pieces, and it doesn't look like a fight with humans. Instead, it looks like a wild beast tearing at them. The scene is too horrible to look at." "Then what about the van?" "We don't know where they are. According to the footage, we found that before the van arrived, the 15 people in the van were dancing crazily on the spot, as if they were possessed. There were even signs that they were fighting each other. Some of them were hit by the bullets, but we can't determine what happened." "That's right, Captain." After that, a middle-aged man in his 50s got into one of the cars and drove it to the side. The van directly rushed over. The phone in Old Tan's hand slipped to the ground. He sat down on the sofa and stared blankly at Zhou Jiutian. F***CK. At this moment, Zhou Jiutian couldn't help but curse. Yanran wasn't here, but they were still so powerful. It was obvious that they had activated a formation. Only the people from the Eastern aristocratic family knew how to use formations. Could it be that there were still people from the Eastern aristocratic family who were colluding with them? Zhou Jiutian felt his head swell. He sat on the sofa, completely unable to figure out what was going on. At this time, Xiao Xiao had already taken a taxi back to his and Yinran's place. The moment he entered, he saw Yanran constantly adjusting something. He ran forward excitedly and hugged Yanran. "Aran, my mission has been successfully completed. What reward are you going to give me today?" Yanran put her index finger to her lips and shushed him softly. "Ah Xiao, my reward for you is, we are going to lure the snake out of its hole now." Chapter 306. Xiao Xiao saw that there was an audio on the computer screen in front of Yanran. He listened carefully and heard that a person was reporting something to two middle-aged men, and one of the voices was Zhou Jiutian. Xiao Xiao looked at Yanran in surprise. "When did you install a listening device on them?" Yanran pursed her lips and smiled. "Just when you went out to do something, I found someone who was tracking us. I deliberately appeared in front of him and placed a listening device on him when he wasn't paying attention. This person is really dedicated. He kept chasing me, and then I pretended to be heading in the direction of Death Valley. After running for a while, I shook him off and came back. Look at how obedient this person is." He immediately ran back to report. "He just said that I escaped to Death Valley." "Aran, you're luring the snake out of its hole. Do you mean that we should get rid of Zhou Jiutian in Death Valley? Maya Xiao is the smartest. That's my plan. Yanran snuggled into Qiao Zhao's arms and gave him a thumbs up. Do you think Zhou Jiutian will fall for it? Qiao Xiao hugged Yanran tightly and asked worriedly. Originally, they wouldn't have taken the bait so easily. But didn't Maya Xiao give them a heavy blow? Little Six has already told me about your heroic deeds just now. Under the premise of their repeated failures, they will definitely come. I'm already a very terrifying opponent to them. Zhou Jiutian won't let me stay in the human world anymore. So this battle is a battle to the death. Either you die or I live. Xiao, let's take him down together, okay? Just as Yanran expected, after Zhou Jiutian and Old Tan received the report from their subordinates, they unanimously decided that this Yanran could not be left alive. Since she had already appeared, they had to chase her to the end. They analyzed Yanran's escape route and saw that there was only one way. They also went to Death Valley. They did not know why Yanran was going there. But Minister Tian had been there before and was saved by her. No matter what, even if it's a trap, we have to go, Zhou Jiutian said to Old Tan. Old Tan still had a lingering fear towards Yanran's methods. After listening to his subordinate's report, he knew that this girl from the cultivation world had the power to destroy the heavens and earth. If she continued to exist in this world, she would become their greatest enemy. Jiutian, I will send the strongest elites to listen to your orders and have them turn the entire Death Valley into the real Death Valley. If you can't do it because of the rules of your cultivation world, then I will have my subordinates do it and turn Death Valley into this girl's final grave. Old Tan kicked the table fiercely and took out a gun. He aimed it at a vase opposite him. With a bang, the vase shattered. Zhou Jiutian did not say a word, but from his vicious gaze, his originally handsome and charming face became somewhat distorted. Yanran, it's time for us to fight to the death. This time, I won't show any mercy. When Qiao Xiao and Yanran arrived at Death Valley again, it was already night time. Death Valley was still lonely. The moonlight was bleak, emitting a silver-white light. It was especially cold under the reflection of the stones. At night, the Joshua tree stood alone at the foot of the mountain. The tall treetops swayed gently with the night wind, like a straggling soldier standing on the spot, waiting for a fierce battle to happen. As for the stone pile where Qiao Xiao and Yanran were, it had not moved for a long time. However, the strange rocks and strange stones still made this place appear extremely hard. The two of them found a vantage point and looked down at the commotion below. The surroundings were dead silent. Even the whistling of an eagle had disappeared without a trace. Aran, this is really a good place to fight. If I had known, I wouldn't have sent that monster away first. Otherwise, he would have been a good helper for us. Just thinking about the fierce battle in a while makes my blood boil. Yanran looked around vigilantly. Xiao, you are very powerful now. You can deal with an army of thousands by yourself. Xiao Xiao was very pleased with Yanran's trust in him. Yanran, you rest first. I will go and take down that Zhou Jiutian for you. Yanran smiled and looked at Xiao Zhao's blood-boiling eyes. She said softly, okay. But just as the two of them were talking casually, something unexpected happened. They saw the explosions caused by the heavy weapons roaring towards the mountains. The entire Death Valley was filled with flames. The only few Joshua trees were blown into powder in an instant. The tree trunks and leaves were blown into the air. The mountain rocks, which were originally piled up with stones, were now blasted into oddly shaped pieces of rubble that flew all over the valley. F***CK. Before Qiao Xiao could finish cursing, he activated the guard seals and protected him and Yanran. It was as if the heavy weapons knew that the two of them were on top of the mountain and kept bombarding them. The sky was filled with flying sand and stones, blocking their line of sight. Although Qiao Xiao and Yanran had formed hand seals, they were still firmly pressed down by the surrounding sand and stones. They were simply unable to move. The two of them were tired and were about to be buried under a pile of stones. They were really battered and exhausted. Qiao Xiao shielded Yanran under his body. He felt that the surrounding air was about to be sucked away. Countless sand and rocks were squeezing the two of them to the smallest possible size. The only space they could move in was about to be crushed. Qiao Xiao said with difficulty, How did this F***er know that we are here? He should have used his spiritual sense. Zhou Jiutian is indeed not simple. I shall be careful. Yanran could not even lift her head. In the narrow space, she could only curl up in Xiao Zhao's arms and could not move. Finally, the explosions outside stopped. Xiao Xiao and Yanran realized that the two of them were actually at the bottom of another mountain that had been blown out. Yanran released her spiritual sense and felt the pressure on them. She was estimating how much spiritual power she would need to explode at this time. But before she could use her spiritual sense, an even stronger pressure came directly from the fake mountain. Xiao Xiao and Yanran directly sank another foot. The two of them were caught off guard. The huge pressure came in through the seals made by the guards. The two of them spat out a mouthful of blood. F***ck. Xiao Xiao looked at Yanran with heartache. Looking at the blood at the corner of her mouth, he asked, "Are you okay?" Yanran did not even have the space to raise her hand. But at this time, her eyes became more and more determined. "I'm fine." Yanran simply withdrew her spiritual sense. At the same time, she set up a layer of enchantment around them. Xiao Xiao and her aura were all hidden inside. From the outside, there were no signs of life. "How is it?" "Jiutian, my plan is not bad, right? No matter how capable you cultivators are, can he withstand the rain of bullets in the human world?" Old Tan finally climbed up the ruined mountain and said to Zhou Jiutian while panting, "It's such a pity that such a cute girl was crushed to pieces. The people of China all pay attention to the return of fallen leaves to their roots. She can only rest here forever. Should I set up a monument for her? No matter what, she has worked hard for the cultivation world for her entire life." Zhou Jiutian was still constantly exerting pressure. The pile of ruins gradually sank. The stones that were originally loose due to the explosion were now pressed harder and harder. The large stones became small, the small became miniature, and the miniature finally turned into powder. Like a pile driver, under Zhou Jiutian's pressure, a tall ruined mountain gradually pressed down to the ground. "All right, Jiutian, are you going to make a coffin for her? Just in case, this girl has 9 lives. I'll make sure she can't crawl out alive. I originally thought that you had feelings for him. I didn't expect you to turn hostile faster than flipping a book." "Flipping a book? It's just a relationship. How can there be true love in this world?" Zhou Jiutian finally pressed the entire ruined mountain into the ground, as if nothing had happened. Zhou Jiutian turned around and smiled at Old Tan. "Let's go, Old Tan. This matter is over. Find me 2 Eastern girls. I want to relax tonight." "Ha ha 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 ha. I knew you were the one who could let go. I admire you. You are definitely someone who can do great things." Old Tan patted Zhou Jiutian on the shoulder, and the two of them left the cemetery side by side. Behind them, more than 10 vehicles loaded with heavy weapons followed closely behind. The heavy hammer struck the guard's seal again and again, and the huge pressure caused the seal to deform. Xiao Xiao and Yanran were squeezed together, and under a heavy blow, Yanran was forced to turn around with her back facing the outside. The two people hugged each other and were driven into the ground like pilings. After a long time, the two people who had fainted slowly woke up. At this moment, Xiao Xiao felt that it was not a good thing for his nose to be too high. The seal was already stuck to the sides of his nose. If there was another blow, he did not know if the strength would penetrate and crush his nose bones. Yanran's face was beside him. She was moving millimeter by millimeter, trying to give Xiao Xiao more space for his nose. She used the back of her head to increase the area of the seal. Although it was very small, it still made Xiao Xiao's nose leak out. The air underground was very thin. Only a few wisps of air passed through the cracks in the stone. Xiao Xiao panted and said, "Aran, don't worry about me. Don't hurt your smart brain. Even if my nose bone is broken, I won't die." After saying that, he panted a few more times before he recovered. "No, you won't be handsome if your nose is ruined." Yanran's voice was as soft as a mosquito's. Xiao Xiao could not help but laugh. "Didn't you say that I looked like Guan Yu earlier? Why are you concerned about my appearance now? I was afraid that you would be sad and not dare to come see me. When you came out of the yin-yang formation, didn't you run away as soon as you saw me?" Xiao Xiao thought of his savage appearance at that time and laughed. Thinking about it, it's really childish. But I have to make myself look good for the one who loves me. Yinran's voice seemed to come from underground. She said slowly, "You won't be ugly without a nose. If you're ugly, only I will want you." "Aran, so you're a vinegar jar." Xiao Xiao intimately blew on Yinran's face. "You're already like this, and you're still so naughty." Although it was pitch black, Yinran's face could not help but turn red. "The more it's like this, the more interesting it is. Aran, think about it. It's rare for someone to create such an opportunity for me to get close to you. Shouldn't I absolutely not give it up?" Chapter 307. Ah Xiao, only you can live so optimistically. Between the two of us, I don't know who saved who. Yinran's voice was as soft as a thin thread, and gradually there was no more sound. "Aran, what are you talking about? I can't hear you. Aran. Xiao Xiao only realized that something was wrong after a while. Yinran was silent. He rubbed his cheek against her, but there was still no movement. Xiao Xiao suddenly became nervous and raised his voice. "Aran!" Everything was silent, except for Xiao Xiao's voice echoing in the cracks of the stone. Xiao Xiao's heart suddenly panicked. He wanted to pat Yinran, but his hands couldn't move at all. He rubbed his face against Yinran's face. He slowly groped forehead, eyebrows, eyes, nose. Xiao Xiao's thin lips finally found Yinran's lips. He bit her delicate lips again and again, but Yinran didn't seem to have any reaction. Xiao Xiao's heart throbbed in pain, and a huge fear drowned him like a huge wave. Xiao Xiao fiercely bit Yinran's lips, but Yinran was like a puppet at his mercy, lifeless. Xiao Xiao suddenly felt the taste of blood in Yinran's mouth. His heart trembled, and his tears fell uncontrollably, instantly covering his face. The salty taste spread between his lips and teeth, wrapped in the thick smell of blood, blocking Xiao Xiao's mouth. "No, Yinran, you can't leave me alone, I can't live. You're so powerful, how can you be crushed? You must have been knocked unconscious. Otherwise, how could you have been knocked down so easily? You are the queen of the world of cultivation. You still have a very important mission that you have yet to accomplish." In the end, Xiao Xiao cried out hoarsely. Xiao Xiao suddenly clenched his fist, and his arms suddenly became thick. Under the huge pressure, he stretched forward as if in slow motion, and attacked the surrounding darkness with a mana attack. The power was so great that the whole ground shook 3 times. Xiao Xiao continued to punch, but after more than 10 punches, other than shaking and loosening, there was no movement. Yinran, who was under him, still had her eyes closed and didn't react. It seemed that he couldn't smash open her mouth for a while. Xiao Xiao stopped, and began to desperately suck the blood in Yinran's mouth. He didn't believe that Yinran would die, but only then did he know that there was so much blood in Yinran's throat. After sucking it into his mouth, he swallowed it directly. The taste of blood spread from his mouth to his chest, but he couldn't care about anything. He only knew that nothing could happen to Yinran. He didn't know how long had passed, but he felt that time was so long that he was about to lose all hope. Yinran, who was in his mouth, finally bounced up and down like a fish, and then violently coughed, and a large mouthful of blood was spat into Xiao Xiao's mouth. Xiao Xiao directly choked, and the two of them coughed like this. However, the more Xiao Xiao coughed, the more he laughed, except for the tears in his eyes that kept falling. Finally, the coughing of the two gradually stopped, and Xiao Xiao gently pecked. It's okay. Yinran choked out a sentence after a long time. "Ah Xiao, thank you for saving me again. I was stuck by a blood clot just now." "Aran, now our blood and breasts are intertwined." Yinran suddenly laughed. "We are still connected by blood and flesh." Xiao Xiao's heart finally settled back into his stomach. This day on earth almost took his life. "Aran, when we get out later, help me see if my hair has turned white from anxiety." Yinran laughed softly. "Even with white hair, you are still the most handsome Ah Xiao." "Aran, we can't be bullied by others like this. We have to get out quickly. This place is like a tomb, enveloping the two of us. Even breathing is difficult for me. Let's work together. I will use my spiritual power to expand to a point. You use your magical power to find a gap." "Okay." Yinren circulated the spiritual power around her body, from her dantian to the top of her head through the run and du meridians. The spiritual power was as deep as the ocean, slowly rising from her Baihui point, like a large palm, pushing the rock above her head to expand outwards. Yinren's strength was still the strongest, with a speed visible to the naked eye. The sandstone's position changed, and the surrounding sandstone that was as tight as cement clearly began to loosen at this point. Xiao Xiao saw that the time was right. He circulated his magical power to make his arm thicker and longer, and violently struck outwards along the soft soil. The surrounding soil rustled and fell, sliding down along the outer edge of the guard's seal. Xiao Xiao saw that there was hope. It was much more effective than what he had achieved just now. Yinren was smart. She knew to concentrate her strength on a certain point. It was much more effective than his brute force, which was offset by the surrounding sand and stones. Just like this, it fully demonstrated the famous saying that men and women working together would not be tiring. One of them was responsible for finding the correct position. The other was responsible for using a hammer to strike back and forth. They forcefully dug out a hole in the ruined mountain that was pressed into the ground. When the two of them crawled out of the hole with dusty faces, the stars in the distance just happened to drill out from the clouds, secretly watching the two of them, like indomitable giants, standing at the peak of the mountain. Yinren, how do you think we should let this Jiutian die? This is a grave that has already been dug for himself. How about we leave it for him? Xiao Xiao looked into the distance, licking the corner of his mouth bloodily. This can only hurt him physically. What I want is for him to redeem himself mentally. Xiao, let's go chase after him. Yinren flew down the mountain. The two of them were very fast, quickly finding the car that they had parked, speedily chasing forward. In a short while they caught up with the fleet of cars. The long fleet of cars was at least a dozen, speeding along the winding highway. Yinren, do you want to use the combined power of the male and female totems? Yinren smiled slightly. I have the same idea. The two of them took out their totems, only to see the two totems spinning in the air, one emitting a silver light, the other emitting a golden light, rotating in the air to attract each other, gradually fusing into one. At the moment of contact, the golden light shone, like the light of the sun, covering people's eyes. Not good, someone is catching up from behind. Zhou Jiutian looked back, being stimulated by the light from the two totems. He closed his eyes. His sense of danger was very strong, immediately releasing all the spiritual energy in his body towards the light. However, the power of the two ancient totems was enough to destroy the heavens and earth. It was unknown when, but the sky had already been filled with dark clouds that looked like fish scales. Layer upon layer, under the dual chants of Xiao Xiao and Yinren, it was as if the sky was being pressed down, enveloping a radius of 100 feet, and suddenly dropping down a few hundred feet. Seeing such a strange weather phenomenon, the people in the dozens of cars screamed, as if they had seen a ghost. They picked up heavy weapons in their hands, but they didn't know where to aim. On one side was the sunlight that made them unable to open their eyes, and on the other side was the thousands of dark clouds that covered their heads. After a while, a hole appeared in the dark clouds, then was suddenly torn from the middle to the two sides. From the middle of the dark clouds, a few fist-sized lightning bolts, milky white, extended from the sky, like a whip blade, extending from the middle of the clouds. Those who were holding heavy weapons quickly hid in the cars. They did not expect the lightning to hit them through the armored cars. Pa! The sound of metal cracking, accompanied by ear-piercing screams, came from the cars. The people in the cars were very tragic. All of them were hit by the lightning. Their whole body was burnt, their hair was blown up, their skin was blackened, and they were lying in the car, lying on the ground. Because of this, the driver's steering wheel was immediately tilted, and he rolled down the highway with the car. Yinren at this time clenched her fists, her whole body trembling. Xiao Xiao knew what she was thinking, and hurriedly persuaded. Yinren, this is all caused by the totems. It has nothing to do with you. Your belief is to protect humans, I know. But for these bad people, you must not be merciful. I just think that the law should punish them, and not me, directly give them capital punishment. Yanran closed one eye. She could not bear to see all of this. At this time, Yanran's heart was like a hemp rope, and at this time, she squatted on the ground in pain. Xiao Xiao hurriedly hugged her. Yanran, this is done by me, it has nothing to do with you. Please don't count it on yourself. Ha ha ha, this is the backlash of a cultivator. Yanran, I did not expect you to be so lucky. Buried under the ruins of the mountain, you can climb out. You are an unkillable cockroach, a stubborn rock in the world of cultivation. Unfortunately, your heart is not as hard as mine. Regardless of whether these people died because of me or not, my heart is as hard as a rock. Even if there is a backlash, I will not feel any pain. Zhou Jiutian, you are already at death's door. Why are you still so stubborn? Xiao Xiao directly commanded the totem, and a bolt of lightning struck towards Zhou Jiutian's body. Immediately, Zhou Jiutian's body was surrounded by rotating white waves formed by the lightning, but Zhou Jiutian immediately resisted, and the force of the collision formed a turbulent river in the sky, directly supporting it in the sky. Boom, boom, boom. Zhou Jiutian was indeed powerful. He stood still on the ground, and the white waves formed in the sky, layer by layer, formed a huge lotus in the air. Xiao Xiao suddenly exerted pressure, and commanded the huge lotus to fall from the sky, covering Zhou Jiutian's body. Zhou Jiutian was not to be outdone. He used his own spiritual power to form a large umbrella above his head, forcibly holding the lotus in the air. Xiao Xiao silently chanted in his heart, and 18 small golden and silver swords flew out from the totem, like sharp daggers, whistling towards the large umbrella. The surging spiritual power mixed with a sharp whistle, all piercing through the umbrella, and directly towards Zhou Jiutian's face. Xiao Xiao, I did not expect you to be so powerful. I really should have crippled you long ago. Zhou Jiutian, you bullied my family's Yanran. I still have not settled the score with you. If you want to cripple me, let's see if you have the ability to do so. Xiao Xiao waved his hand, and the 18 small swords instantly sped up, arriving in front of Zhou Jiutian in the blink of an eye. Chapter 308. Zhou Jiutian jumped on the spot and dodged 17 swords, but the last one still pierced through his shoulder. Zhou Jiutian staggered. The spiritual power from the small sword quickly burned his body, and the temperature around the wound reached more than 1,000 degrees. Zhou Jiutian was indeed a ruthless person. He pulled out the small sword and threw it back at Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao turned sideways, and the small sword circled around. Under Xiao Xiao's command, it went for Zhou Jiutian's other shoulder. This time, it directly nailed him to the rock behind him. Yanran endured the pain in her heart and walked forward. Zhou Jiutian, I originally thought that you were just a parasite in the cultivation world. I didn't expect you to be a traitor to the entire country. Yanran, you are very funny. You have your beliefs and I have mine. Who is right and who is wrong? What right do you have to judge me from the moral high ground? Is your belief to be a traitor to the country? Country M has given you so many benefits that you can actually disregard the safety of the country. They gave me power and money to satisfy all my desires. Can the country do that? Zhou Jiutian sneered and retorted, your power and desires are above the pain of others. How many people have their families ruined because of you? And they have to wander around just to satisfy your selfish desires. Living in this world is not only for yourself, but also for the people around you to live a happy life, leading them to create a better future together. Don't you know this? Yanran angrily rebuked. You are still too naive and young. If you had suffered countless hardships like me, you would understand. Only when you stand at the peak of power can you control the life and death of others. When money is just a pile of numbers to you, then you can truly obtain freedom. You're very sad. You think you've got your rights and freedom, but where's your heart? Where's your soul? Don't you feel that you've been abandoned by everyone? The people around you have nothing but benefits. There's no friendship to speak of. You've already become a loner, but you're still complacent. No, Zhou Jiutian shouted. Don't think that you're invincible just because you've subdued me now. I, Zhou Jiutian, have suffered countless hardships since I was young. In order to become an ambitious person, I've always wanted to stand at the top of the world. I won't be restrained by you. He suddenly straightened his body and gathered all the spiritual power in his body into his dantian. The spiritual power in his body crazily rotated and quickly rushed to his left shoulder along his meridians. The body that was pierced by the small golden piece was instantly plated with a layer of black armor, and the blood stopped flowing. Yinren couldn't help but be shocked. Why is your spiritual power black? Black. Only black spiritual energy can allow you to reach the top of the world. Only black spiritual energy can allow you to break through to the void stage. Yinren, you can't beat me. After he finished speaking, a majestic force was pushed out from his palms, forcing Yinren back dozens of steps. Yinren immediately formed a vortex with her spiritual energy from Zhou Jiutian's hands, and continuously sucked it into her body. You've actually learned the spiritual absorption technique from the Hibiscus Manual. Zhou Jiutian was extremely shocked. No wonder Elder Yi was defeated by you. So that's how it is. But you're in front of me. So what if you have the Hibiscus Manual? The surging spiritual energy pressed down on Yinren like a mountain. Yinren was already on one knee from the pressure, but she still straightened her back and resisted with all her might. When Xiao Xiao saw this, he immediately used the guard hand seal to protect the two of them. With a burst of spiritual energy, his arm instantly became longer and thicker, aiming straight for Zhou Jiutian's face. Child's play. Zhou Jiutian gently waved his arm and flipped his palm, blocking Xiao Xiao's fist. Then, with a twist, Xiao Xiao's entire body spun 360 degrees in the air, along with his arm, before landing with a thud. Yinren finally knew that Zhou Jiutian was the strongest opponent she had ever met. However, a strong belief supported her. She also used her spiritual energy to fight with Zhou Jiutian. The two of them were 10 feet apart, but the spiritual energy in their hands converged and formed two shockwaves. When they collided in the air, it was like an electric current. The shockwaves formed caused Xiao Xiao to be pushed back another 10 feet. The wind caused by the spiritual energy blew Yinren's hair and clothes back. The feeling of moving without any wind caused Yinren to continuously retreat. Xiao Xiao was extremely anxious. With a thought, he activated the flying fire meteor. Countless meteors flew out from the sky. They fell with a radius of 100 miles. But in the end, they accurately hit Zhou Jiutian's head. Unfortunately, before they could get close, they were all shattered by Zhou Jiutian's spiritual energy. Xiao Xiao himself could not dodge in time. If not for the guard hand seal, the meteors would have landed on his head. This move did not work, so he immediately changed his move. He used fire to ride the wind. Before the fire could be attracted, it was blown away by the spiritual energy. Xiao Xiao could only recite the sixth incantation, flying sand and stones. The faint stars in the night sky were instantly covered in a layer of dust. A gray curtain covered the sky above Death Valley and continued to expand. It was as if a black swarm of locusts was swarming over. As it slowly approached, it was as if thunder was rolling. The angry roar caused Zhou Jiutian to look up. The strange scene in the sky caused his hand to tremble. In this moment of distraction, Yinren commanded the silver sword on the totem to break through Zhou Jiutian's spiritual energy. The small sword was like a hot knife through butter. It quickly pierced into Zhou Jiutian's major acupuncture points. Once the acupuncture points were pierced, Zhou Jiutian could no longer use his spiritual energy. It was as if half of the meridians in his body were locked. He could only gasp for breath on the ground. The flying sand and stones commanded by Xiao Xiao was like a spinning whip. It continued to grow thicker and wider. Finally, it formed a tornado. It swept Zhou Jiutian up from the ground and threw him high into the sky. The sand and stones in the sky danced wildly with Zhou Jiutian in the sky. Yinren and Xiao Xiao could only hear his screams in the tornado. It was only after the fog had filled the sky that he fell straight to the ground. With a bang, a heavy object fell from the sky. It was naked. Its bronze skin merged with the ground in the darkness. Red and black blood flowed out from 9 parts of its body. In his dantian, the small silver sword had turned his dantian into a black hole. Xiao Xiao quickly went forward and covered Yinren's eyes. "Aran, you can't look at this. You'll get an eye ache." Yinren glared at him and was about to walk forward. Xiao Xiao was one step ahead of her. He tore off a piece of clothing from the corpse and covered Zhou Jiutian's body. Yanran placed her hand on Zhou Jiutian's pulse and noticed that he was still breathing. Yanran's qi flowed into his meridians until it reached his dantian. Then, her qi came out from the black hole in his dantian and disappeared without a trace. Even if you defeat me, Yanran, you won't be any better. Every full moon, the pain of the backlash will make you wish you were dead. Slowly, you will become like me. As long as one reaches the Great Void stage and above, the greater the power in one's body, the greater the backlash. You will be the next me, ha 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 ha. Zhou Jiutian's weak voice rang out, but as he spoke, he became more and more deranged. Xiao Xiao went forward and slapped him. Do you think everyone is like you? Yanran is full of righteousness. She won't be like you. Don't try to scare her with such words. I'm scaring her? I'm a living example. Originally, I was the same as him, but ever since I did something bad, I couldn't control the backlash in my heart. I could only do other bad things to harden my heart. After hardening my heart, I won't feel the pain of the backlash anymore. I'm her example. Don't be happy too early. Zhou Jiutian's voice became weaker and weaker. Xiao Xiao couldn't hear him clearly. Xiao Xiao said fiercely, even if what you said is true, I will still treat Yanran. It's not your place to worry. Treat? How? The only thing that can be treated is. Zhou Jiutian's breath was so weak that it couldn't be heard. Xiao Xiao grabbed his collar and injected some demonic qi into his Baihui point. He moved closer to his ear and gave him some strength. He finished his sentence. The most noble bloodline in the demonic realm, the heart's blood. Xiao Xiao's body froze. His ear was pressed against Zhou Jiutian's lips. He didn't move for a long time. Xiao, what did he say in the end? Yanran's voice sounded. Xiao Xiao suddenly woke up. He looked back at Yanran and revealed a big smile. Don't you know how to lip read? You blocked it. I didn't see it. Nothing much. Just some cursing. Don't take it to heart. Xiao, let's bury those people. Yanran looked at the mess on the ground. Her heart ached again. She clutched her chest and sat on a rock with difficulty. I'll do it. Yanran, you rest first. Xiao Xiao dug a hole in an open space under the road and moved all the corpses in. She then poured mud over it and found a stone to make a mark on it. After doing all this, he looked back at Yanran. He was shocked. Yanran was curled up on the ground in pain. He rushed over and picked up Yanran. He saw that Yanran's face was pale. It was like the moonlight in the sky. There was no trace of blood. Even her lips were white. Xiao, although these people helped the evildoer, they all died because of me. My heart hurts. Yanran, don't scare me. How can I feel better? Xiao Xiao was sweating. Let's go back first. We can go back as soon as possible and solve this problem. Yanran fainted after saying this. Yanran! Xiao Xiao shouted, but Yanran didn't respond. Xiao Xiao quickly carried Zhou Jiutian and Yanran into the car and rushed back to the city. He called Little Six Midway and told him about the situation here. He asked him to find a way to go back quickly. After he locked Zhou Jiutian in the rented house, he quickly sent Yanran to the hospital. After a series of examinations, the doctor shook his head helplessly. Maybe she's too tired. Xiao Xiao grabbed the doctor's collar and roared. How is that possible? She fainted from heartache. How can she be too tired? A few nurses quickly pulled him away. Sir, don't be agitated. The doctor said that she's tired. That means she needs to rest. She'll wake up after resting. The doctor pulled his collar and waved his fist at Xiao Xiao. Don't show off your affection to me. I have a wife too. Xiao Xiao also knew that he was being impulsive. I'm sorry, doctor. I was too anxious. After staying in the hospital for a day and a night, Yanran woke up. The first thing she asked Xiao Xiao was, where's Zhou Jiutian? Chapter 309. Then Yanran saw Xiao Xiao's face magnified in front of her. He was full of stubble, and his hair was messy. He pursed his lips and said sadly, Why wasn't the first man you asked about me? Yanran looked at Xiao Xiao's appearance and felt warm in her heart. She sat up and hugged him. Xiao, are you jealous? I'm afraid that all my efforts will be in vain. Don't worry, I won't let you down. I've arranged everything. Xiao Lu is watching over them. At the same time, I bought a ticket back to China in 3 days. Yanran finally smiled and said, Maya Xiao is the most capable. Then she planted a big kiss on Xiao Zhao's cheek. Aran, are you okay? Does your heart still hurt? I'm fine. It doesn't hurt at all. Look, I'm fine now. Then she got out of bed and stretched her arms up and down. Seeing Yanran's face blushing again, Xiao Zhao's heart was slightly relieved. What Zhou Jiutian said before made him feel a lingering fear. He didn't know if it was true or not, but he hoped that there would be no more problems. The sky seemed to be clear. Watching the plane gradually leave the airport of a city, it was as if a lifetime had passed. Zhou Jiutian had also woken up. He was stared at by Xiao Lu and Minister Tian, but he didn't say anything. Winner takes all. Without spiritual power, he was only left with a good appearance. At this time, he could no longer pay attention to Qiao Xiao and Yanran. He needed to pay attention to Minister Tian and the others who looked like they were going to eat him. After more than 10 hours of flight, they finally landed at the airport of North City. Qiao Xiao, Yanran, and Xiao Lu got off the plane with a group of people. When they were about to get on the bus to the airport, a person quickly walked up to them. Are you Miss Yanran? I am. Miss Yanran, I'm a staff member of the National Police Bureau. Your real name complaint letter has attracted the attention of the country's top leaders. They sent us to welcome you back to the country and arrest the criminals. The person directly handed over his identification. Yanran was very surprised. She didn't expect that everything in the country would go so smoothly while she was abroad. At this time, 2 groups of soldiers walked over in formation. Their steps were firm and powerful. They walked with the demeanor of a soldier who had walked through sweat and fire. They were full of heroic spirit. Their eyes were like sharp blades as they stared at the people behind Qiao Xiao and Yanran. Miss Yanran, thank you very much for escorting the biggest hidden danger to our country. We will carefully investigate and interrogate according to the contents of the report letter. I wonder if you would be willing to cooperate with us in our investigation. Of course, I will cooperate fully, but I want to go home first. I still have a lot of things to deal with. Can I come back in a few days? Of course. Xiao Xiao was very happy with Yanran's decision. He had been wanting to go home for a long time. After saying that, the leader waved his hand and took Zhou Jiutian away. At the same time, department head Tian's people followed them. Yanran, a big stone in your heart has finally been lifted. Now that everything is done, what are your plans? Xiao Xiao hugged Yanran and walked towards the exit of the airport. What do you think? My boyfriend, I want to understand the recent developments of the cultivation world. Then should we give ourselves a good vacation? Yanran turned her head and said playfully to Qiao Xiao. This was what Qiao Xiao wanted. He suddenly hugged Yanran and spun around. My goddess, you are finally willing to accompany me. Although their bodies were very tired, their minds were finally relaxed. The 2 of them walked out of the departure hall chatting and laughing. However, they didn't expect that the 2 of them would be immediately interrupted by a group of fans. The paparazzi who heard the news didn't let them go either. They took pictures everywhere. Excuse me, Qiao Xiao, did you go on your honeymoon? Is this your girlfriend? Qiao Xiao, did you just come back from Country M? I heard that you went to shoot a variety show and came back late. Is it because of your girlfriend? Qiao Xiao, do you have any plans to get married? Has the wedding date been set? A series of questions blocked Xiao Xiao and Yanran at the entrance of the airport. Looking at the expectant eyes of more and more fans, Xiao Xiao cleared his throat and directly hugged Yanran into his arms and announced to everyone, This is my goddess. We are expected to get married next year. When the time comes, I will invite everyone to the wedding banquet. Those who are willing to come and watch the ceremony, please don't miss it. Also, my goddess is not from the entertainment industry. Please respect our privacy and don't disturb her private life. By the way, I would like to inform everyone that my variety show Extreme Fog in Country M has been successfully recorded. I heard that it will be broadcast soon. I also hope that everyone can watch it. I will bring more and better programs for my fans and make your days with me more exciting. All the fans at the scene cheered, and Xiao Xiao also took photos with the fans very generously. However, Yanran shook her head and walked to the side. Looking at Xiao Zhao's dazzling brilliance, Yanran smiled with satisfaction. Looking at the endless questions from the reporters who had eaten this shocking news, some of the fans had tears on their faces, and some were jumping for joy. Soon Xiao Xiao and Yanran couldn't smile anymore. The hall of the airport had caused a traffic jam. The airport security directly came forward to drive them away. What's wrong with being a celebrity? Can a celebrity not follow the traffic rules? You can't cause a group incident here. Hurry up and leave. The fans immediately became agitated and vowed to protect Xiao Zhao's interests. Xiao Xiao quickly stopped the fans. The two of them were led to the exit by the security guard. Finally, they saw Uncle Wu's white hair looking at them with joy. On the same day, the entire internet exploded. Weibo was completely paralyzed. Those crying programmers desperately tried to repair it. It took 10 minutes for it to return to normal. The top 5 searches on Weibo were Hashtag Xiao Xiao announces his relationship. Hashtag Xiao Xiao announces his wedding at the annual celebration. Hashtag Xiao Xiao's goddess is not in the entertainment circle. Hashtag Xiao Xiao's extreme fog variety show will be broadcast. Hashtag Xiao Xiao loves goddess so much. Hope everyone can protect her privacy. Hashtag overwhelming comments on the internet, and photos of the airport flooded out. Those who knew Xiao Xiao and those who didn't know Xiao Xiao all knew him from today onwards. All the headlines were dominated by Xiao Xiao. This dazzling young man slowly walked into thousands of households from the very beginning of the mineral water commercial. A movie made him instantly enter the mainstream circle of stars. Unexpectedly, his hottest topic was the official announcement at the airport. No one knew that his fan base had already grown so large, and he had a great influence on the internet. Wild summer. Who is this Xiao Xiao? He's so handsome. How can an official announcement of his relationship be so sensational? Mu Xianfeng. Look at his happy smile and his cold goddess beside him. I'm jealous. Stay up until morning. Brother Qiao finally has someone to warm his bed. What about my harem? My family's cloth shop. Brother Qiao, don't you love me anymore? You gave all your love to that cold girl. I've been squatting on the ground and drawing circles for 24 hours. Come and save me. The netizens were still very powerful. Although Xiao Xiao said that he wanted to protect Yinran's privacy, Yinran's information was soon dug out. Fantasy westward journey. The two of them were actually classmates in high school. Brother Qiao, you've been chasing after her for so many years. Brother Qiao, you're too southern. Hua Pang Pang. This girl looks very cold at first glance. Did our brother Qiao melt her with his enthusiasm? I'm so envious. My personality has to change for Xiao Xiao. I also want to learn to be a cold queen. But the two of them really match when they stand together. They're a natural couple. Along the way, Xiao Zhao's phone didn't stop ringing. Zhang Deong was the first. Brother Qiao, you should have told us in advance when you announced your marriage. We didn't even prepare a press release. Have you been blinded by love and completely forgotten that you still have Star Entertainment? Big Yang, aren't I thinking for you? I've already announced it. Why do you still need to write a press release? See if there are any negative comments on the internet. Get rid of them all. Also, tell Jing Shu to be careful of the fans' riots. Write a few more articles on the internet to appease them. Also, pay attention to whether there are people coming to expose Yanran. This society is a bit messy. The information on the internet can't be removed. Don't let them disturb Yanran's life. Director, actor, professor, one phone call after another. After Xiao Xiao answered all of them with a smile, the two arrived home. Only then did Yanran have the time to question him. Who promised you to get married next year? Why did you announce it directly? Xiao Zhao's eyes were a bit fluttering, but he thought that he had already obtained the consent of Yanran's parents. He straightened his back. Aran, if you don't marry me, who are you going to marry? You see, we're like this. Our relationship is so good. I'm so capable. I can go to the hall, the kitchen, the devil, and the big bed. Where can you find such a good man like me? Yanran pointed a finger at his forehead. You only know how to talk. You can rest assured. I'll arrange everything. You just need to be at ease and wait to be a bride. Yanran didn't say anything more. Indeed, This playboy had already entered her heart. The two of them had gone through so many life and death situations, and their fates were tied together. In this life it was only him. No one else could enter her heart. Xiao Xiao looked at Yinran's charming face under the light, and didn't say any more objections. His nervous heart finally relaxed. It seemed that he had made the right move today. His crown princess had finally been recognized by the whole world. The following days finally returned to peace. Yinran went to the cultivation world, preparing to wrap up the matter of Zhou Jiutian. At the same time, she received a call from the National Bureau, asking her to go to the northern city to make a statement. Xiao Xiao also returned to campus and continued his studies. Xiao Xiao became more and more famous on campus. His fans often came to the computer science department to look for him. There were often people who pretended to be Yinran to attract his attention. However, other than Yinran, Xiao Xiao's heart was in his laboratory. This was because Yinran gave him a strict order. If he wanted to marry her, he had to pay off his debt to Uncle Wu first. In fact, when Xiao Xiao was in the entertainment industry, he had already paid off Uncle Wu's initial funds. However, he also knew that if he wanted to be worthy of this queen of the cultivation world, he needed to work harder. Chapter 310. Through this period of hacking practice, Xiao Xiao wrote his practice into a paper and handed it to Professor He on how to improve network defense. He summarized the various firewalls he encountered during this period of time and summarized his own cracking methods one by one. From theory to practice, a thick paper of hundreds of pages was formed. His purpose was actually to produce a new product for his Starsky Technology Entertainment Company, a set of the most solid network defense system. He didn't expect that the greatest value of this product would be discovered by Professor He. He had long known that Xiao Xiao was a talent, but he didn't expect that his research results had long been ahead of the most cutting-edge technology in the country. It was already a leap forward internationally. Professor He reintegrated and packaged it, and encouraged Xiao Xiao to apply for a patent for this technology. When Star Entertainment Company got the patent for version 1.0, Professor He said excitedly, "Xiao Xiao, do you know? This is a leap forward. Your research can improve the domestic network defense level by more than one level. Making money is only secondary. Your contribution to the country is immeasurable. I have long said that you are a treasure, and I was not wrong about you." Professor He was so excited that tears flowed down his old face. He patted Xiao Xiao's shoulder and choked with sobs. "You are my student and I am proud of you." Xiao Xiao touched his nose. He actually just wanted to earn enough money for his wife. He didn't have any ideals or pursuits. But when Yinran told him that he would make money to support his family in the future, he found a new motivation. He sometimes thought about what Yinran said to him. Living in a big house with their children running all over the floor, he could wake up laughing. And Yinran told him that raising children was very expensive, so his biggest task now was to make money to support his family. He was still further refining his product with Professor He and a group of students in the laboratory. Version 1.0 had been successful, and now they were trying to innovate version 2.0. His variety show Extreme Mist was set to be officially broadcast in a month. Yinran had been gone for more than 2 months. When she came back, it would be almost time for the wedding. Everything was going very smoothly. Xiao Xiao's vision of a beautiful life was about to arrive. And the moon was particularly round today. This was a day that Xiao Xiao would never forget. December 15th of the lunar calendar. "Ah Xiao, I'm going back to Nanchuan in the afternoon. Are you going to pick me up from the airport?" Yinran sent a voice message. Her voice was soft and sweet, like a silkworm about to be spun out of its cocoon. Although the two of them video called each other every day, when Xiao Xiao heard that Yinran was finally coming back, the little rabbit that originally lived in his heart jumped with joy. He waved to the group of brothers in the laboratory and quickly ran home. He cleaned himself up inside and out, and chose his favorite casual cotton-padded clothes. Inside, he wore a light beige pullover sweater with a high collar. The fur on the cotton-padded clothes made his sharp face look like a little fox with a good bloodline. But when he went out of the door, he remembered that he was now too recognizable. If he went out with such an angered face, he would be surrounded. He had to wrap an oversized black scarf, wear a black mask and hat, dress up like Grandmother Wolf, and then hold 999 roses in his hand and drive to the airport. When he arrived, he found that the plane was actually late. It turned out that the northern city was foggy. He looked at Nanchuan's sunny and beautiful day and sighed. Everything was good in his hometown. He stuffed himself in the car and didn't dare to come out. There were several paparazzi that he was familiar with all year round squatting at the airport. If he was discovered today, it was estimated that Yin ran, and he would be an hour late. He directly sent a WeChat message to Yin Ran, telling her to wait for him in a parking lot and to come directly. In the end, he was bored and browsed the news. Extreme Fog had already arranged the schedule. Now Star Entertainment, the director, and the investors were vigorously promoting it. As a second season of interactive crossover drama, it was quite anticipated. There were already a few behind-the-scenes photos of the show that had been posted online, whetting the audience's appetite. The picturesque colorful rocks in Death Valley, the Joshua tree that stood guard like a soldier, the simple factory, and the gold-digging sand piles. Everything seemed to have happened yesterday. If the directors knew what happened in Death Valley later on, they would probably find it hard to believe. Xiao Xiao flipped through the comments on the internet. Most of them liked him, but since his official announcement, he still lost some fans, but he was willing to endure. In this boring moment, someone knocked on the window. Xiao Xiao looked and saw Yinran carrying a box and standing in front of his car with a smile. He jumped out of the driver's seat in surprise and gave Yinran a big hug. He held her little face and kissed her fiercely. At the same time, he heard the sound of a photo being taken. Xiao Xiao looked back and saw the familiar paparazzi squatting beside his car. He had to say hello. "My goddess is back." The paparazzi saw that there was no hope. It turned out to be the original wife, so he just took a few photos and left. "Xiao, it seems that if you have any new situation in the future, I will know from the internet." These paparazzi's daily task was to keep an eye on him. Xiao Xiao was a little helpless. You still can't offend him. Some people really know how to make groundless accusations. If it wasn't for you today, I don't know what kind of long article would be written to criticize me. Yinran got in the car and sat beside Xiao Xiao. Her left hand reached out and touched Xiao Xiao's knee. Xiao Xiao was happy. It seemed that his Yinran also missed him. How did it go? Did Zhou Jiuting confess to everything? He has to confess even if he doesn't want to. The evidence is there, and he can't deny it. Now we just have to wait for the final judgment. It should be the death penalty. Xiao, I've been appointed to replace Zhou Jiuting. Yinran smiled and looked at Xiao Xiao. Her eyes were full of stars, and the afterglow of the setting sun was tempered in her eyes. Xiao Xiao was sincerely happy for Yinran. "Oh Ran, you're amazing. You've truly become the queen of the cultivation world. I must celebrate for you today." Yinran also smiled contentedly. She was sharing the best news with the person she loved the most right away. Her years of hard work had finally become a reality. When she received the appointment letter from Minister Tian, she finally smiled happily as she looked at the gold-plated words on the letter of appointment. "Xiao, I feel that the burden on my shoulders has become heavier. I might have less time to accompany you. Please don't blame me," Yinran said sincerely to Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao sighed in his heart. In fact, he had already mentally prepared himself. After falling in love with such a person, they were destined to spend less time together. He didn't directly answer Yinran's question. Instead, he said mischievously, "In any case, you have to remember that you can only have me as your imperial husband in your harem." Yinran smiled and leaned over to kiss Xiao Xiao on the cheek. "Aha, my imperial husband, this queen will remember." The two of them were talking intimately when suddenly, a series of ear-piercing breaking sounds came one after another. Then, the banging sounds made Xiao Xiao subconsciously slam on the brakes. Then, he felt a sudden strong force pushing their car forward. The sudden collision caught Xiao Xiao and Yinran off guard. When the two of them used their devil chi and spirit chi to stabilize the car, the front of the car still hit the small car in front of them. Yinran and Xiao Xiao's car became a sandwich biscuit. Because the force was too great, and the speed was too fast, the airbags in the car quickly popped out and wrapped around the two of them. Xiao Xiao quickly made a guard seal to protect him and Yinran. The whole car bounced up and down a few times like a spring. The moment it landed heavily, a heavy object fell from the sky and smashed into the front windshield. A face full of fear enlarged in front of the two of them. Then, the whole face slammed into the windshield without any warning. Blood spurted out from the facial orifices, and the eyes that died with grievances protruded out. The front windshield was immediately smashed open, and blood spread out in all directions along with the cracks. Xiao Xiao and Yinran were suddenly hit by this sudden impact. They subconsciously stretched out their hands to block in front of their eyes and closed their eyes, as if they wanted to return everything to its original state. After a while, Xiao Xiao came to his senses. He immediately realized that there had been a huge traffic accident, and they had unfortunately encountered it. He looked around, and it seemed that all the cars were the same. Yinran, I'll go down and check the situation. As he unfastened his seat belt and was about to get out of the airbag, he looked back at Yinran and was startled. He saw Yinran clutching her chest desperately. Her face was pale, and her lips were bloodless. Her eyes were lifeless as she looked at the face on the windshield. Big drops of cold sweat flowed down her forehead. At this time, her whole body was trembling. Her hands were clenched in front of her chest, and her nails dug into her flesh, drawing traces of blood. Yinran, what's wrong with you? Did something happen? Yinran stiffly turned her neck to Xiao Xiao expressionlessly. Ah Xiao, my heart hurts. Then she clenched her hands into fists and hit her chest with all her might. Xiao Xiao quickly pulled her hands down, but Yinran was strangely strong. She grabbed his hands and continued to hit her chest. Xiao Xiao immediately unfastened Yinran's seatbelt and carried her to the back seat. Then he saw Yinran immediately curl up like a hedgehog. Her hands continued to hit her chest crazily as she gasped for breath. Xiao Xiao hugged her in his arms, trying to comfort her, but it was useless. She was in so much pain that she rolled around in Xiao Xiao's arms. Her legs kept kicking, and her hands desperately pulled at the clothes on her chest. She tore them apart without caring about anything. In the end, she used her nails to desperately scratch her chest. Soon, she scratched her chest with all her might. Aran, what happened? Xiao Xiao anxiously grabbed Yinran's hands and shouted. I'm in pain, Ah Xiao. My chest hurts. Something is gnawing at my heart. Chapter 311. Xiao Xiao had no choice but to tie Yinran up with an invisible rope. Then he held her in his arms and soothed her chest with his devil energy. He was not in the mood to care about the large-scale car accident. He only knew that there were people walking around his car. Many people were taking pictures of the front window of their car. Because their car's anti-peeping function was very good, the side windows could not see inside. However, there were still many people curiously looking in from the front windshield. Xiao Xiao directly put up the partition of the back seat to block everyone's view. He focused on healing Yinran. He vaguely knew what was going on. When they captured Zhou Jiutian, Yinran suffered a backlash and fell into a coma for a day and a night. The doctor did not find anything wrong with her. After Yinran woke up, she was full of energy again. Later, on the 15th of every lunar calendar, Xiao Xiao would specially call Yinran to secretly check if she was okay. However, on that day for 2 consecutive months, Yinran would say that she was busy with work and hang up on Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao became more and more worried. Today, when he saw it with his own eyes, he realized that the situation was very serious. Yinran was stimulated by the corpse and acted up again in advance. Gradually, the devil energy seemed to work. Yinran fell into a deep sleep in the back seat. Xiao Xiao was sweating all over at this time. He did not know whether it was because of the heat or because he was anxious. It was not until someone knocked on the window of the car next to him that he came back to his senses. The traffic police came. He got out of the car and cooperated with them to take a statement. Many people at the scene recognized him and wanted to take pictures with him. However, Xiao Xiao was not in the mood at all. He politely refused and said that he still had a patient to take care of in the car. Then he returned to the car. From the police, he learned that the traffic accident was very serious. It was caused by an overloaded truck. The goods on the truck poured down and hit the car next to it. The car was caught off guard. As a result, the driver was a greenhorn. He wanted to step on the brake, but he stepped on the gas pedal instead. The speed was directly increased to 300 kilometers per hour. The huge force of the impact sent more than a dozen cars in front of him flying. The worst thing was that the door of a car was not locked. The people inside were directly knocked out. One of them was so unlucky that he hit Xiao Xiao's car. Yinran's body must have been triggered by the death of this person. Xiao Xiao took out his phone and looked at it. It was December 30th on the Gregorian calendar, and December 15th on the Gregorian calendar. It was not suitable for traveling. He pressed the space between his eyebrows and returned to the car. He continued to hold Yinran and waited for the traffic to resume. His car was not very bad. After all, it was a top-notch car that had been processed. Although it looked a little scary after the crash, the basic functions were not lost. When the police asked him if he wanted to go directly to the repair shop, Xiao Xiao directly refused. He looked at Yinran worriedly, walked back to the driver's seat, and drove the car home. Uncle Wu looked at Xiao Xiao directly carrying Yinran back and asked worriedly, "Young master, what's wrong with Miss Yinran? I don't know how to explain this matter. It's even more mysterious than the devil world. When we caught the big boss of the cultivation world, he said that if people above the virtualization stage killed people who were not from the cultivation world, they would suffer a backlash every full moon. Yinran had suffered a backlash once before, and it seems to have acted up again today." Uncle Wu lowered his head and thought for a moment. Then he suddenly raised his head and widened his eyes. "Is this a kind of curse?" When Xiao Xiao heard that Uncle Wu actually knew, he said happily, "Yes, it's a kind of curse. Is there any way to solve it?" Uncle Wu stared at Xiao Xiao for a long time, then looked at Yinran. Then he shook his head and walked away. Uncle Wu, if you know, just tell me." Xiao Xiao chased after Uncle Wu all the way to the storage room on the second floor. Uncle Wu went directly to the huge bookshelf and took down a thin book from the top shelf. "There are some difficult and complicated diseases in here. I think I've seen similar symptoms before." Uncle Wu handed the book to Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao was overjoyed when he heard this. He quickly sat down and quickly flipped through the book. There were more than 10 kinds of curses in there, and Yinran's situation was very similar to one of them. It said that this curse was created during the war between the demon realm and the god realm hundreds of thousands of years ago. After the demon realm was defeated, the god realm was worried that they would further harm the 6 realms in the future, so they cursed them. This kind of curse didn't work on people with low cultivation. It was specifically targeted at people from the demon realm who had very high cultivation. This was because the higher the cultivation, the greater the damage caused, and the greater the possibility of harming the 6 realms. Seeing this, Xiao Xiao raised his head and looked at Uncle Wu in confusion. "This curse is targeted at people from the demon realm. Why is it confirmed on Yinran?" "Young master, didn't you say that Yinran was practicing the hibiscus score?" The hibiscus score is a sacred object of the demon realm. It's a treasure passed down in their family since ancient times. This proves that they must have a very deep relationship with the demon realm. Maybe like you, their ancestors crossed over from the demon realm to the human world. When Xiao Xiao heard this, he nodded thoughtfully. That is to say, it's possible that Yinran is a descendant of the demon realm. No wonder her aura and mine are so compatible. He continued to read. The root of the problem was found, but the book didn't mention a word about how to remove this kind of curse. "Uncle Wu, you're an old man in the demon realm. Have you heard of a way to remove this kind of curse?" "I've only heard that only the demon king can remove it, because the demon king is extremely powerful." "Uncle Wu, can we bring Yinran back to the demon realm and let father save her?" "This refers to the former demon king, not your current father." "Then what should we do? Is there no other way?" Uncle Wu glanced at Xiao Xiao again and lowered his head. "Uncle Wu, do you think it's possible?" Xiao Xiao looked into Uncle Wu's eyes and asked word by word. "Last time, The cultivator told me that the most precious blood in the demon realm, the heart's blood, can remove the curse. Uncle Wu suddenly looked up. Young master, don't even think about it. If we take your heart's blood, you'll lose your life. It's just a little blood. You can think of a way to save me. Your Highness, I'm not that powerful. I can take care of your daily needs, but I can't heal your heart. You really can't. Uncle Wu shook his head. Xiao Xiao didn't say anything else. He lowered his head and continued to flip through the book. Uncle Wu, I'll study it here. You can leave first. Before Uncle Wu left, he emphasized to Xiao Xiao again. Young master, don't do anything stupid. Without you, Miss Yanran won't be happy. After Uncle Wu left, Xiao Xiao closed the book and sat on the chair with his eyes closed. Xiao Xiao, don't do anything stupid. Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming also jumped out. No one can save you. The ancient books say that if the heart's blood is gone, your life will disappear. Then what do you think Yanran should do? Do you want her to become another Zhou Jiutian? Then wouldn't Yanran die of pain? There must be a way. Let's think about it. Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming sat cross-legged in the bracelet. This was the biggest problem they had encountered. Xiao Xiao jumped up from the chair. Since the curse was targeted at the people from the demonic realm, there must be a solution in the books from the demonic realm. If it wasn't in this book, there might be a solution in other books. He found all the books from the demonic realm and ordered the tadpoles in his mind to comb through them. He needed to find all the books that had something to do with the curse. He spent a whole 3 hours sorting out all the solutions to the curse. There were a total of 30 solutions. 29 of them pointed to the Demon King, and one of them was to transfer the curse to himself. Found it, found it. Xiao Xiao jumped up excitedly. Kong Ming, Kong Xiaoming, look, you can transfer it to me. Yanran can be saved. Kong Ming looked at him like an idiot. And then Yanran will be fine. Kong Xiaoming gritted his teeth. I mean, then what? I'm the prince of the demonic realm. What am I afraid of? This kind of curse has landed on your body. Your cultivation is not low. Do you think you can withstand it? Kong Xiaoming questioned. If Yanran can withstand it, then so can I. Xiao Xiao was suddenly filled with fighting spirit. He began to carefully study the method of transferring the curse. However, after he finished reading, his body suddenly stiffened, and he looked towards the room where Yanran was. It was a long story with a total of 5 pages. In summary, there were only 2 words. Sex on the night of the full moon. And at the most critical moment, the person who was transferred needed to use the devil chi to directly possess the body, take out the curse from the person's chest, and put it into his own chest. However, the possession was very painful. The person who was being possessed had to be fixed in place, and it was best if he fainted. Xiao Xiao understood. No matter what, he could not avoid the knife in his chest. However, taking the blood from his heart would kill him. The transfer of the curse would only make him feel pain every full moon. Xiao Xiao made up his mind. He couldn't bear to see Yanran in so much pain. He was a man, and he should bear what he had to bear. He had suffered a lot of these sufferings, and this one didn't matter. Wasn't it just once a month? In the future, when Yanran felt uncomfortable every month, he would accompany her. Yanran would have to bear his children in the future. Her suffering would not be any less than his. She also had the entire cultivation world to manage. What if she did not have a healthy body? After making up his mind, Xiao Zhao's heart suddenly cleared up. The original haze seemed to have been blown away by the wind. Half of it did not leave behind a trace of shadow. He told his plan to Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming. The 2 of them opened their mouths wide. They were speechless at Xiao Zhao's strange idea. Do you think this curse is so easy to break? Aren't you afraid that you will become Zhou Jiutian? I can't change. I'm not as ambitious as him. This matter is settled. None of you can stop me. Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming were really anxious. Xiao Xiao ignored their advice and insisted on doing such a dangerous thing. The 2 of them were so anxious that they walked around in the bracelet like ants on a hot pan. After making up his mind, Xiao Xiao began to make preparations. Today was not only the day he was going to transfer the curse, but also the most important day of his and Yanran's life. Chapter 312. Aran, wake up, it's time to eat. Xiao Xiao gently shook Yinran as he leaned over and intimately rubbed Yinran's face like a small animal. Yinran's drowsy mind was awakened by the gentle words beside her ear. She weakly opened her eyes and looked at Xiao Xiao before closing them again. Ah Xiao, I'm so tired. Can you let me sleep for a while? Aran, you can't sleep anymore. There's something important to do in a while. Get up and eat something first. Xiao Xiao directly lifted Yinran's upper body. Yinran, who had no strength in her arms, weakly leaned into Xiao Xiao's embrace. Aran, is your backlash this serious every time? Why didn't you tell me before? Yinran guiltily pulled the corner of her mouth and said very softly, it wasn't this serious before. It's just that I can't seem to use my spiritual energy. But I scared you today. I was triggered by the person who hit the window. I'm sorry for making you worry. I was originally planning to spend New Year's with you. Xiao Xiao looked at Yinran and his heart ached. How long will it last? For the first 2 months? It will hurt for a few hours, but it'll be fine the next day after sleeping. Xiao Xiao hugged her with heartache. I wasn't by your side. How did you get through it? It's okay, Ah Xiao. I did something wrong. I should be punished. Nonsense, are those bad people worth being punished with? Don't take responsibility for yourself. Xiao Xiao picked up the porridge by the bed and fed it to Yinran. Yinran only ate half a bowl of porridge before shaking her head and not eating anymore. She closed her eyes and wanted to lie down. Xiao Xiao stopped her and said solemnly, Aran, there's something very important that we have to do today. No matter how tired you are, you have to finish it with me. Yinran opened her eyes in confusion and said weakly, what is it? Why didn't you tell me before? I didn't tell you before because I wanted to give you a surprise. Today is the most suitable day for a wedding in our devil realm. If you miss today, you'll have to wait another 10 years. Yinran sat up straight. Really? Ah Xiao, I'm not prepared for such a big event at all. Besides, didn't you say that we're only going to get married next year? Next year is the big wedding in the human world. But today we have to complete the big wedding in the devil realm, so that my father and mother can witness our wedding. This is the only time when the human world and the devil realm communicate with each other on a full moon. Sorry, Ah Xiao, I didn't know at all. You should have told me earlier, Yinran said with a bitter smile. Look at my mental state today. Won't your father and mother laugh at me? Xiao Xiao's mouth was full of nonsense, just to gain Yinran's trust. Aran, don't belittle yourself except for your spirit. Everything else is very good. I've already prepared your wedding dress. As long as we officially get married tonight, they will be able to see it. I just want to ask you now, are you willing to marry me? After asking this question, Xiao Xiao's heart trembled. Although he said that tonight was to take over her body, it was indeed what Xiao Xiao wanted. Yinran sat up straight under Xiao Xiao's gaze. Her hands kept tidying up her hair, and 2 blushes appeared on her pale face. She pulled the quilt tightly on her body. Her hands were already clenched into fists, and her cute little head cautiously nodded. Ah Xiao, I'm willing. Xiao Xiao's heart finally relaxed. No matter what happened later, this was his and Yinran's promise in this lifetime. Xiao Xiao took out the devil realm wedding dress that he had prepared long ago. 2 sets of red and gold inlaid formal dress for the crown prince and crown princess, embroidered with the most precious golden peacock thread, full of dragons and phoenixes. Yinran, actually, I've let you down. Originally, in the devil realm, there would be many people to serve you, and there would also be very experienced nannies to help you dress up. But we're not in the devil realm today, so everything can only be simplified. But I promise that when you get married in the human world, I'll make up for the grandest wedding. Today, let me take your place, okay? Yinran looked at Xiao Xiao's affectionate eyes, and a little bit of tears flowed out of her eyes. At this time, Uncle Wu brought in a plate, and on the plate was an exquisite phoenix crown, with a phoenix spreading its wings and soaring domineeringly, as if it wanted to soar into the sky. The heavy wedding dress under the phoenix crown burned Yinran's heart like a flame, and a spirit like magic surged from the bottom of her heart, and the original feeling of powerlessness suddenly became much better. Xiao Xiao personally unfolded the wedding dress and put it on Yinran. The wedding dress was like fire, and the phoenix crown was like a wedding dress. A burst of gasps came from Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming in the bracelet. This wedding dress is really beautiful. The fiery red was like the morning sun, and the golden light was as brilliant as starlight. The long tail of the dress dragged on the ground, swaying gently with Yinran's steps. The wedding dress was made to fit her very well, and from the back, one could clearly see Yinran's curves, which were perfect. The wedding dress tightly clung to the lines of her body, and at the waist, there were cloud-like folds of brocade, and then suddenly released a wide hemline of the dress, which was embellished with star-like jade, and the folds were shining. Xiao Xiao picked up a comb from the tray and read out the words of the Devil Realm nanny that the little tadpoles found for him temporarily when combing his hair. 1 comb to the head, wealth and wealth are not to be worried. 2 comb to the head, no illness and no worries. 3 comb to the head, more children and more longevity. Another comb to the tail, and raise the case to the eyebrows. 2 comb to the tail, and fly together. 3 comb to the tail, and tie the heart with the heart forever. After combing the hair, Xiao Xiao was ready to put on makeup for Yinran. But suddenly he saw that Yinran's face was already full of tears. Xiao Xiao was anxious and immediately squatted in front of her. Yinran, are you feeling wronged? I know that I didn't prepare enough. I didn't invite your parents, and no one else came to take care of you. Do you feel wronged? But Yinran kept shaking her head, tears flying everywhere. No, Ah Xiao, I'm touched. We've been together for so many years, and how many times have we gone through life and death? Finally, we're together today. I don't care about the formalities you said at all. As long as you're here, everything is enough. Silly girl, don't cry. I really feel wronged. It's all my fault for making you cry on your wedding night. After saying that, he was about to slap his own face. Yinran hurriedly grabbed his hand. Ah Xiao, I really don't blame you at all. Your devil realm has its own customs, and I respect them. It's unfilial of me to not personally serve tea to your parents. It's also unfilial of me to not be able to serve them in the future. So tonight, everything will be according to your customs. I have no objections. What a good girl. If my father and mother heard that their daughter-in-law was so good, they would definitely not be able to sleep at night. Xiao Xiao wiped away Yinran's tears and helped her draw a bright and moving dress. Finally, after putting the phoenix crown on Yinran's head, it was like a finishing touch that made Yinran look radiant. She looked at Xiao Xiao's eyes, and her heart was like a deer in the headlights. She immediately lowered her eyebrows and looked shy. But in Xiao Xiao's eyes, Yinran was really as beautiful as a king's, as beautiful as a princess, as beautiful as an orchid, so beautiful that it made Xiao Xiao's eyes stare straight. Ah Xiao, everything depends on the two of us today. Let me also put on your dress for you. Xiao Xiao's dress, from the design of the collar to the front to the belt, the color, the gloss, and the contrast of the material were all very textured. Yinran could see that it was the design of an ancient royal dress. The personalized jade inlaid at the waist was grand and formal, setting off Xiao Xiao's golden ratio figure and flawless handsome face. It perfectly reflected the Devil Crown Prince's exquisite figure and elegant temperament. When Yinran put the last bit of lip gloss on Xiao Xiao's thin lips, her hand was already trembling. Her face was as red as the morning sun, and the temperature in the air was rising. She already did not dare to look directly into Xiao Xiao's eyes. Your Highness the Crown Prince, Crown Princess, the auspicious hour has arrived. Please come downstairs to pay your respects. The two newlyweds held hands as Xiao Xiao supported the weak Yinran downstairs. Yinran looked at the wedding hall that Uncle Wu had already prepared, and felt as if she really had come to the demon world. All the furniture had been wrapped in red, and the entire hall had become a sea of red lanterns. Yinran looked through the tassels that covered half of her face, at the portrait of the demon lord and Empress Mother in the center, and the red silk on the table. Only then did she truly experience the reality of a wedding. Xiao Xiao and Yinran each held the two ends of the red silk, and stood facing each other. Uncle Wu called out, "First bow to the heavens and earth." The two piously bowed to the door. Second bow to the parents. The two directly bowed to the portrait of the demon lord and Empress Mother. Husband and wife bow to each other. The two held the red silk and solemnly bowed to each other, making their promises. The ceremony is complete. Send them to the bridal chamber. With Uncle Wu's call, the wedding ceremony officially ended. After the two returned upstairs, Yinran found that their bridal chamber was in another large room that had not been used before. The room had already been completely refurbished. As if by magic, Uncle Wu turned on the switch, and the lanterns fell from the sky. The large red candlesticks on the table burned brightly. There were 8 plates of snacks, a jug of wine, and 2 exquisite wine cups on the table. The most conspicuous thing in the bridal chamber was the large bed that was 5 meters wide. At this time, the embroidered silk quilt was covered with red dates, peanuts, longans, and lotus seeds, forming a large heart-shaped circle with the meaning of early birth of a child. Uncle Wu had Xiao Xiao pick up a dumpling for Yinran to try. Yinran took a bite, and immediately felt that something was wrong. Xiao Xiao softly asked, "Is it raw? Raw or not?" Yinran stuck out her tongue. "Raw." After saying this, she reacted, and her face immediately turned red. On the side, Uncle Wu smiled and nodded his head. After Uncle Wu filled the 2 wine cups, he left the bridal chamber and left the room for the newlyweds. "Aran, thank you. For my father and mother I've wronged you. Let me give you a toast. From now on, you are my wife." Looking at Xiao Zhao's meticulous preparations, Yinran's eyes were already covered with a layer of mist. At this time, under the illumination of the candlelight, her watery eyes sparkled brightly. The two of them hooked their hands and leaned their heads against each other as they drank the cross-cupped wine that symbolized their love. After the two finished drinking, Xiao Xiao took a pair of scissors from the table and cut a bunch of his hair. He also cut a bunch of Yinran's hair. He tied the 2 strands of hair together and placed them in a pre-prepared sachet. Then he placed it close to his heart. He took Yinran into his arms and softly said to her, "Aran, my wife, I hereby swear that I will never betray you." Chapter 313. The atmosphere became more and more lively, and the temperature in the room inexplicably rose. Yinran was immersed in Xiao Zhao's solemn vow of undying love, and her heart was agitated. Xiao Xiao raised the corner of his mouth into a happy arc. He asked Yinran softly and affectionately, "May I kiss the bride now?" Yinran's heart was beating like a drum. She was already a little dizzy, but now she was even more dizzy. She raised her head and looked at Xiao Xiao with a blushing face, and let out a soft sound from her nose. Then, Xiao Zhao's enthusiasm overwhelmed her. Unlike his usual forbearance, Xiao Xiao was so impatient that Yinran really couldn't handle it. At this time, he impudently pried open Yinran's lips. This was only the first step of his conquest. Yinran anxiously wanted to stop Xiao Xiao. Oh, my head ornament, my dress." However, Xiao Zhao's mouth didn't stop moving. He gently picked up the head ornament with both hands and placed it on the table next to him. As for the dress, Xiao Xiao wasn't so polite. With a rough tug on both sides, the beautiful and lustrous dress made of precious pearl silk was instantly destroyed. This was a piece of fabric that required 1.2 million strands of spider silk. As for the exquisite jade on the belt, Xiao Xiao didn't care about it at all. Only clanking sounds could be heard as it rolled on the ground. "Xiao Xiao, slow down. I'm a little hypoxic." Yinran staggered and fell to the side of the bed. Xiao Xiao immediately stopped and helped her lie down on the bed. "Aran, do you still feel very weak? Can I be a little gentler?" Yinran was finally able to catch her breath. She was indeed a little exhausted. Although the severe pain had mostly subsided, the faint aftereffects were still constantly eroding her heart. She glanced out the window. The round moon was like a pool of spring water hanging in the night sky. On such a beautiful night with a full moon, how could she actually drop the chain? "I'm sorry, Ah Xiao. Maybe you're a little slower. I can't take it anymore. Aran, I was too excited just now. We've known each other for 7 years, but I've been an ascetic monk for 7 years. So at that moment, you can officially marry me. You don't know how excited I was. I'll definitely be gentler later. If you feel uncomfortable, you have to tell me." Xiao Xiao gently licked her lips, restraining and enduring. Yinran looked at such a good Xiao Xiao and felt a burst of sourness in her heart. Happiness spread throughout her body. She adjusted the little bit of spiritual energy in her body from her dantian and circulated it around her body. Finally, she felt a little better. Then she hooked her hands around Xiao Xiao's neck and took the initiative to welcome him. "Ah, Xiao, I'm much better. I want you to love me." The words "love me" ignited all the sparks in their hearts, from their limbs and bones, all the way to the surface of their bodies. Their skin felt as if it was on fire, and every part of their bodies became extremely sensitive. Xiao Zhao's entire body's devil chi soared. He also wanted to control it, but Yinran's initiative completely shattered all his restraint. Xiao Xiao couldn't help but set off a monstrous wave in this bridal room filled with lanterns. Xiao Xiao himself didn't know that his originally casual cries had gradually turned into the low growls of a wild beast seeking pleasure. It was a kind of pleasure, a manifestation of the beast in his body. His Yinran was really too tempting. He had already missed her for a long time, when he had only had a shallow taste of her in the past. On this big wedding night, the sumptuous feast had really fed Xiao Xiao until her belly was round, and her waist was round. And Xiao Xiao was proud in his heart. Not only did he become a beast, but he also made Yinran a little crazy. Yinran bit his shoulder, and her 10 fingers scratched his body desperately. In just a moment, a bloody mark covered his chest and back, and there was a faint tendency to go down. The bite mark on his shoulder was very deep, and it began to ooze blood. And this didn't make Xiao Xiao feel uncomfortable. On the contrary, it brought him a greater stimulation. Xiao Xiao felt pain and pleasure at this time. This was the ultimate pleasure that his beloved Yinran could bring to him. It was also the metal that made him a real man. And after an unknown period of time, Yinran's boat finally climbed a huge wave and fell directly from the top of the wave into the sea, completely capsizing. And Xiao Xiao looked at Yinran, who had already fainted, and he was a little worried. But he still remembered that he had a most important mission tonight, and that was the possession curse. At the most critical moment, Xiao Xiao released an invisible rope and tied Yinran's hands and feet tightly. Then he took out the dagger that he had already prepared. And then, according to the teaching in the book, he chanted the incantation and used his hand to form a claw and placed it on Yinran's heart. Xiao Xiao chanted the incantation and continuously released it into the air, like golden characters. After enveloping Yinran's whole body, Xiao Zhao's hand went to Yinran's heart. After a while, the incantation took effect. At any time, Xiao Zhao's magic increased. Yinran, who had already fainted, still felt discomfort in her body, especially the bone-piercing pain in her chest. Before her brain could react, her body had already started to twist and turn. She tried to break free from the restraint of the rope. Xiao Xiao hardened his heart and closed his eyes, no longer paying attention to Yinran's struggle. He increased the strength of his palm and directly sucked out the layers of black gas, surrounded by the golden characters. It was black and sticky, and clung to each character like sludge. Xiao Zhao's palms were suspended in the air, and his 2 hands were already full of characters in his palms. He retracted his 2 palms, and his palms faced each other, so that all the characters desperately squeezed into a ball. He used his left hand to drag this black and shiny ball, and his right hand picked up the dagger and cut his heart. Then he chanted another string of incantations, and the characters in his left hand were transported to the wound. This mass of sludge, as if summoned, turned into strands of black and golden threads, and drilled into Xiao Zhao's heart. Xiao Xiao only felt that his heart was immediately entangled by something, and it was a little difficult to breathe. His heart, which was originally beating rhythmically, became sluggish at this time. No wonder Yinran was in so much pain. Even he, the crown prince of the devil world, could not bear it. This cycle repeated, and after about a dozen rounds of possession, the black sludge in Yinran's body was finally cleared. As the last sludge was transported into his body, Xiao Xiao fiercely shook off the sweat on his head, and the power that he had been holding back for a long time finally broke out, and with it came a bloody hole that was constantly spewing out of his chest. Xiao Xiao felt dizzy, and before he could pull up the quilt to cover the 2 of them, He directly fell on Yinran's body, and then fainted. Uncle Wu, Uncle Wu. Early the next morning, Yinran rushed downstairs in a panic, and was completely different from her usual calmness. She only had time to put on a nightgown, and weakly fastened the belt before rushing downstairs. Her face had recovered some color, but at this time, her lips were trembling, and her eyes were filled with panic. Uncle Wu jumped in fright when he saw this. Crown Princess, what happened? Uncle Wu, Xiao Xiao fainted, and there is a bloody hole in his chest. When Uncle Wu heard this, he knew it was not good. He quickly rushed upstairs and saw Xiao Xiao lying on the bed on his back, covered with a thin quilt, and the quilt was already stained red with blood. Uncle Wu's hands trembled as he lifted the quilt in front of his chest, and saw a bloody hole in his chest. The blood that flowed out had already dried, but from the bloodstains on the bed, a lot of blood must have flowed out from his body. Uncle Wu fainted and sat on the ground, and then he started to hug Xiao Xiao's body and cried, "Your Highness Crown Prince, why are you so stupid? I told you not to do this. If you do this, you will harm yourself, and harm her for the rest of her life." Yinran, who had followed in, saw Uncle Wu like this and was extremely flustered. "Uncle Wu, what is going on? Why is it like this?" Uncle Wu wailed by the bed for a long time. He felt Xiao Xiao's pulse, and there was still a weak pulse. He decisively said to Yinran, "Crown Princess, it's like this. Young master saw you in pain from the backlash, and he could not endure it, so last night, he suddenly thought of the idea of marrying you. I originally thought that he wanted to marry you, but I didn't expect that he would use the marriage to use his own heart's blood to save you. I told him not to do this, he would not be able to keep his little life, but I didn't think that he would still insist on doing this. There is no other way now. I have to take him back to the Emo world, to see if the Emo monarch has a way to save him. Crown Princess, I cannot take care of you for now. You have to take care of yourself." Yinran was stunned by all of this. Only now did she know that Xiao Xiao had tried to save her last night. While she was in a daze, she saw Uncle Wu quickly help Xiao Xiao put on his clothes. Then he displayed strength that an old man over 50 years old should not have, and carried Xiao Xiao on his back, quickly running to the library on the second floor. Yinran could not do anything, and could only follow unconsciously. She saw Uncle Wu place Xiao Xiao on the sofa, and take out a book from the top shelf. He quickly flipped to a page, and then imitated the hand seals formed in the book as he chanted. A string of the Emo world's secret language, that Yinran did not understand, came out of Uncle Wu's mouth. He chanted for a full 10 minutes like he was chanting a sutra. The air finally rippled like water, and formed a transportation door in front of Uncle Wu and Xiao Xiao. Uncle Wu directly picked up Xiao Xiao, and stepped in with one leg. Chapter 314. Yinran suddenly came to a realization. She pulled on Uncle Wu. "Uncle Wu, can I go?" "Sorry, Crown Princess, you can't go for now. You haven't received the authorization to enter the demon world. You have to wait patiently in the human world. If young master is fine, he will definitely come back to find you. If young master, something happens, I will think of a way to send a message to you. Saving people is more important, so I won't speak more with you. Take care of yourself." After saying this, Uncle Wu's 2 legs stepped in. Yinran's hand was blocked by an invisible layer of air. Like this, Uncle Wu took Xiao Xiao and disappeared from Yinran's sight. Yinran panicked. She passed through the air wall, but there was nothing. She was still running around the study. After a while, her entire body was covered in sweat. She picked up Uncle Wu's book, and began to imitate Uncle Wu's hand seals. Then, she began to read a long passage of scripture, according to the book in a cryptic manner. But there were many words she did not recognize. Yinran stumbled as she read, and was always interrupted. She started from the beginning again and again, but she made mistakes after reading a few sentences. When she finally finished reading the first page, she started to read the second page. Like this, she spent an entire day. She finally finished reading all the passwords, but there was no movement at all. Yinran sat on the ground, paralyzed. It was as if she had woken up early in the morning, and had a dream, a shocking dream. Her originally happy life was like a mirror that had been shattered. Xiao, why are you so stupid? Yinran's voice came from her throat, and then she started to cry loudly. Her tears soaked the black hair that fell on her cheeks. Her thin shoulder blades trembled violently. A feeling of helplessness and powerlessness made her feel despair. Yinran laid on the ground without a care for her image. It was as if only the hard floor could give her some support. Xiao Xiao had disappeared. Even Uncle Wu had disappeared. It was as if she was the only one left in this world. She cried until the sun went down. Yinran lay on the floor and fell asleep. When she woke up again, the whole house was dark, and she was the only one. The heating in the room was still, but Yinran was cold from the inside out. Yinran stood up and walked around the entire villa. She turned on all the lights and looked at the hot porridge in the rice cooker. She scooped 2 small bowls, one for her and one for Xiao Xiao. She took 2 pairs of chopsticks and sat at the table to take small sips. It was as if everything was the same as before, but her tears silently mixed with the porridge. Yinran walked back to her new room. Everything on the bed and the red blood stains stung her eyes. There was hers and Xiao Xiao's. She suddenly went crazy. She packed up all the red things and stuffed them all into the cupboard. At this time, she picked up a bracelet on the ground and held it in front of her eyes. Why didn't he take you guys away? Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming in the bracelet had been caught off guard by the big turn of events that happened one day and one night. Yinran put them on her wrist. You guys will follow me in the future. At this time, a bell suddenly rang in the distance. The sky was filled with fireworks, and one by one, they exploded in the air. The beautiful fireworks lit up the whole sky, heralding the beginning of a beautiful year. There was a faint noise of the crowd in the distance, and there were continuous messages of blessings on the phone. Yinran remembered that on the way here, Xiao Xiao had said that he would accompany her for the new year. Every time the fireworks sounded, Yinran's heart ached. Finally, the sky calmed down, leaving only the various sounds in the distance. Yinran stood by the window and looked at the dark sky. Xiao Xiao, where are you? Uncle Wu carried Xiao Xiao back to the devil world and put the crown prince with a bloody hole in his chest behind the crown prince. Someone had already informed the devil king and the devil doctor to come and treat him. The first to rush into the crown prince's palace was a beautiful woman. My son, what happened to you? The beauty was peerless. When she cried, it was like a pear blossom in the rain. It was very moving. She threw herself at the bedside and pulled up the lifeless Xiao Xiao, repeatedly saying, "Ah!" Soon after, the demon lord, who was following closely behind, continuously used a handkerchief to wipe away the beauty's tears. My darling, don't cry. Don't cry too much. The beauty slapped the devil king's hand away. It's all your fault. You insisted on letting your son go to the human world to train. Now look at it. His soul has been seduced by a woman, and he has lost his heart. He can't even keep his life. Give me back my son. He's like me. He's as infatuated as I am. Baby, what's the use of crying here? Make room for Wenwan. I'll take you to see something good. When the beauty heard that the devil doctor Wenwan had come, she turned around and rushed over. Help me take a look at Xiao. Is he okay? When the devil king saw this, he immediately grabbed the body of the devil doctor and held him tightly in his arms. He coughed and pretended to be dignified. Go and see how the crown prince is doing. The gentle devil doctor Wenwan bowed in a manner that was neither servile nor overbearing. He glanced at the anxious princess in the devil king's arms and comforted her softly. Princess, don't worry. I'll go take a look. The beautiful woman's beautiful eyes showed a grateful expression, but the devil king stared at her. Wenwan lifted his robe and sat on the edge of the bed. He looked at the pale-faced Xiao Xiao on the bed. His eyes were cold, and his 2 beautiful eyebrows slightly frowned. He stretched out his right hand and put it on Xiao Xiao's pulse. For a long time, although the beautiful woman was anxious, she didn't dare to interrupt. Looking at Wenwan's frowning eyebrows, the beautiful woman's heart was about to twist. After a while, Wenwan withdrew his hand and waved to the crowd, indicating that everyone should leave. The beautiful woman was anxious. Everyone else leave. I'll stay, okay? Before Wen could answer, the Devil King immediately replied, Baby, listen to one. Let's go out and wait. The beautiful woman immediately frowned and said coldly, I'm asking one. Don't interrupt. Wen's gentle voice flowed like a stream. Princess, I want to check Shower's body. He's grown up. It's not suitable for you to stay here. The beautiful woman pursed her lips. I changed his diapers when he was young. I can't see him when he's grown up. Wen smiled. I heard that His Royal Highness has already married in the human world. At this time, the beautiful woman was reluctantly pulled away by the Devil King. When she walked to the door, she heard the Devil King's voice. Baby, why did you speak so gently to Wen and be so fierce to me? Aren't you childish? It's been so many years, and you're still talking nonsense. How many years? I feel like I just met you yesterday. Our son is so old. That's the evidence. This son is not by my side. I don't feel anything. Wen laughed and shook his head. Then he became serious again. He untied Xiao Zhao's shirt and saw the bloody hole. He used his right palm to move a trace of devil energy into the hole. Immediately, a sticky feeling spread all over his hand. His hand trembled and continued to move inside. The devil energy moved with difficulty, as if there was an iron wall everywhere. Wen recited a string of spells. Then, he took out a porcelain bottle the length of an index finger from the medicine box beside him. He opened the cork and put his left index finger into it. When he took it out again, the tip of his index finger was oozing black and red blood. He put his left index finger into the bloody hole. After a while, a trace of black gas wrapped around his finger. Wen lifted his finger, and the black gas obediently followed. Wen stretched his finger downwards, and the black gas rushed up as if it wanted to bite off his entire index finger. Wen stretched his right hand to the side, and the child immediately handed him an empty bottle. Wen directly put his left index finger into the bottle, and the black gas followed. Wen's hand was extremely fast. After reciting a string of spells, his finger twisted and turned, directly cutting off the tail of the black gas. He then put the cork back on the bottle. The black gas in the bottle kept colliding with the bottle, making a sizzling sound. The remaining black gas in the air saw that the situation was not good, so it quickly retreated back into the bloody hole. Xiao Zhao's chest shook violently because of this movement, and he opened his eyes. When Wen saw that Xiao Zhao had finally woken up, he smiled and said, You must have had a lot of fun outside. You're finally willing to come back? Xiao Zhao stared at the man in front of him for a long time. Uncle Wen, why are you here? Did you also come to the human world? It seems that you are still a little dizzy. It's not easy for you to wake up after suffering such a serious injury. You can only be lucky. This curse is specifically targeted at the people of the demon world. You must have encountered a very powerful guy. Xiao Zhao then realized that he was lying on his own bed in the crown prince's palace. Where is Yanran? Who is Yanran? Is she your crown princess? Yes, we just got married last night. Speaking of this, Xiao Zhao became excited. Uncle Wen, I'm an adult now. I got married last night. And then you made yourself look like this? Which girl would dare to marry a crazy guy like you? Wen said while wiping her hands. Am I ugly now? What should I do? Xiao Zhao said as he wanted to get out of bed and look at himself in the mirror. Don't move. You are still cursed. This kind of god-level curse is not so easy to cure. I just took out a little bit of it. I will think of a way first. You can't go anywhere. Wait for me. Otherwise, you won't be able to keep your life by the next full moon. But I still have to find Yanran. If you are dead, you won't be able to find anyone. Stay here. Uncle Wen, don't scare me. Isn't it just a curse? It only hurts once a month. You are really magnanimous. If it only hurts once, Uncle Wu will be able to bring you back from the human world. The groom will be unconscious on the second day of the wedding and run away from the wedding bed. The bride will collapse. Yes, that's why I have to go back quickly. My Yanran can't have anything happen to her. This curse is getting more and more serious. This time, you fainted for 2 days. The next time it happens, it will be 2 weeks. The next time it happens, it will be 2 years. Then it will be 20 years, 200 years and 2,000 years. If you don't want to cure it, then your crown princess in the human world will really be a widow. Xiao Xiao was dumbfounded. Is it really that serious? If you don't believe me, you can try it. When you faint for 2 weeks, I will come and cure you. Then I will leave first. Remember to inform me when the time comes. Chapter 315. Hey, Uncle Wen, don't go. Xiao Xiao immediately put on a flattering expression and grabbed Wen Wan, who was about to leave. Uncle Wen, please don't abandon me. Can you try to cure me within 3 days? Within 3 days? Are you kidding me? This curse is a curse from the heavenly realm. I have to go back and study it. Even if I can find a way to break it, it will take me at least 3 months. That won't do. I'm getting married in 2 months. I can't not have a groom at my wedding. Xiao Xiao was anxious. Didn't you say that you got married last night? You're getting married so soon? Your charm is good, much better than mine. Wen Wan simply sat on the chair and drank her tea. Her slow and natural movements made Xiao Xiao anxious. Uncle Wen, I beg you. I can't miss my wedding in 2 months. Please help me. Xiao Xiao directly threw himself on Wen Wan's body and pretended to cry. It's a bit difficult. You're already like this. It's hard to say if the Devil King will let you return to the human world. Wen Wan poured a cup of tea and placed it in front of Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao looked at Wen Wan's indifferent expression. She rolled her eyes and asked, Uncle Wen, how is your relationship with my mother lately? Wen Wan picked up the porcelain bottle beside her and gently hit Xiao Xiao's forehead. Haven't I always been very good with your mother? Xiao Xiao poured a cup of tea for Wen Wan attentively. My mother is always tightly controlled by my father. She doesn't have any freedom. I feel sorry for her. Wen Wan looked at Xiao Xiao's handsome face with a strange expression. She smiled and asked, What do you want to say? I want to say that since I'm sick, of course, my mother should come and take care of me. I hope that she can stay by my side during this period of time. As for my illness, I'll have to trouble Uncle Wen to help me. Of course, my father will definitely not let my mother stay with me for a long time. But even if it's only for a short time, it's still a very close distance, a long time together. Wen Wan smiled meaningfully. You've learned how to think for others after your experience in the human world. It's settled then. From tomorrow onwards, I will move directly to your Crown Prince Palace and formally research the medicine to cure your illness. The Crown Prince's illness also needs someone to take care of him. No one can take care of him better than his own mother, right? Xiao Xiao and Wen Wan gave each other a high five and smiled. From the second day onwards, Xiao Xiao began to feign illness in bed. Originally, his maidservant Yuer had thought that she had finally found a chance to get close to the Crown Prince. However, she did not expect that the Crown Prince did not want anyone else. He only held on to Wang Fei and did not let go. Wang Fei had to do everything herself, even drinking water. The demon lord was so angry that his beard blew and his eyes widened. You're already so old, yet you still torment your mother. Xiao Xiao immediately pretended to be weak. Mother, I don't think I have much time left. Please stay with me for the last period of time. The beautiful woman immediately felt extremely distressed. She hugged Xiao Xiao's head in her arms. Don't talk nonsense. You are my only son. If something happens to you, I don't want to live anymore. The more the demon lord listened, the more he felt that something was wrong. He finally sent his son to the human world to experience, and finally had some private space with his baby. However, he did not expect that the relationship between mother and son was so deep. Her son died, and his mother did not want to live alone. How could this be? He pulled his baby over. With Wen here, shower will be fine. We have seen him today. We can go back. Xiao Xiao immediately cried out in pain. He grabbed his mother's hand and refused to let go. The beautiful woman was so anxious that she ignored the demon lord and directly drove him out of the Crown Prince's palace. Then, she put a big hat on him and said that he did not care about their son at all. If he dared to stop her from taking care of her son, she would move back to her mother's house forever. Then, she asked someone to clean up the side hall, and she would sleep here at night. The demon lord stomped his feet in anger. But seeing that his baby seemed to be really angry, he did not dare to act rashly. He had to go back to deal with official business first. The moment he walked out of the door, he only saw Wen Yuan glancing at him indifferently. The demon lord believed that he did not see wrong. There was provocation and pride in his eyes. This Wen Yuan, because she had saved his Wang Fei's life, was as close as brother and sister with the Wang Fei. However, because of this, he had no choice but to dote on this nominal brother-in-law. It was just that the Wang Fei treated him as an elder brother. But the demon lord felt that Wen Yuan treated the Wang Fei as a woman. This really made him feel a sense of crisis. So at night, the demon lord simply went directly to the side hall and warmed up the quilt. He wanted to give his baby a surprise. It was not until very late that she heard Wang Fei and Wen Yuan's voices. The two of them seemed to be discussing something. They walked to the door and talked for a long time. When they finally finished, Wang Fei pushed the door open and entered. However, she accidentally tripped on the threshold. Wen Yuan reacted quickly and grabbed her. Wang Fei fell into Wen Yuan's arms. Wang Fei's gauze dress accidentally caught on the hook on the door next to her. There was a tearing sound. A small piece of gauze on the sleeve was cut open, revealing half of her white forearm. It was as white as mutton fat jade. It was dazzling. Wang Fei, be careful. Wen Yuan's voice had a calming power, making the Wang Fei immediately calm down. When Wen Yuan looked up, she saw the demon lord, who was only wearing his underwear, hurriedly getting out of bed. Wen Yuan smiled bitterly in the depths of her heart and bowed to the demon lord. This subordinate will take her leave. The demon lord immediately closed the door, pulled the Wang Fei's smooth and white arm, and rubbed it in his palm. He had already put on a distressed look. Baby, are you scratched? Then he ordered loudly, tomorrow morning change this door. No more hooks are allowed on it. Okay, it's not a big deal. Look at how anxious you are. Our son is so seriously ill. But I don't see you being so anxious. The Wang Fei did not care why the demon lord appeared here. After all, she had been used to this shadow for so many years. He would always stick to her. Who said that I don't care? That is our son. Wen is treating him. There will be no problem. The demon lord could not wait to help the Wang Fei take off her clothes. This illness is different from the usual. It is a curse. Wen said that it is not so easy to cure. If a cure is not found before the next full moon, then our son will be in danger. You mean that you want to stay here with our son until the next full moon? Doesn't that take a month? That won't do. Tomorrow, I will ask them to bring all the office things here. I will directly work in the Crown Prince Palace to accompany you and our son. The demon lord said righteously. But how could the Wang Fei not know his little thoughts? Okay, you go do your business. Why do you keep circling around us all day? Our son has been out for so long, and I haven't been with him. I can take advantage of this time to get closer to him. Our son will fly out eventually. Why do you want to get closer to him? We are his parents. Moreover, doesn't he have a crown princess now? Let him continue to go to the human world to gain experience. This way, you will have more time to stay around me, right? As he spoke, the demon lord's hands were already moving. The princess consort wanted to say something else, but she could no longer speak. Early the next morning, the real demon lord moved all the government affairs to the Crown Prince Palace. He said that he wanted the Crown Prince to familiarize himself with the government affairs of the demon world in advance. Then, Xiao Xiao found that the originally very spacious Crown Prince Palace was occupied by an endless stream of people. Although no one came to disturb him in his bedroom, his every move was watched by the ministers. His character was also constantly being criticized. Xiao Xiao felt that he had dug a hole for himself. He originally thought that the freedom in the demon world had disappeared. He listened to the reports of the ministers to the demon lord, and felt that he had become Yin Ran. He had to deal with countless things every day. His brain was about to explode. It seemed that this was really not suitable for him. In the future, he would think of a way to leave these things to Yin Ran. However, the progress of Wen Yuan's treatment was indeed very slow. It had been more than 10 days. Every day, other than constantly extracting some black gas from his body to go back and do experiments, there was nothing else. He had nothing to do. And then he and his unbelievably beautiful mother would just stare at each other in dismay. Then he began to instill in his mother how good Yinran was. This time, he finally found a reliable artist who drew his Yinran to 80% resemblance, but the charm was still lacking. As a result, his mother also became more and more curious. One day, she unconsciously mentioned to the Devil King that she also wanted to go to the human world to see Yinran. As a result, the Crown Prince's palace finally became quiet. A group of people came and left in a hubbub. Yinran directly locked the door of the villa and returned home. When the people at home saw her return, they were all jubilant. It was as if it was the new year. However, everyone at home was very busy. Every day, they left early and returned late. Even Yin Guo was often missing. Yinran did not dare to go out now. She was afraid that Xiao Xiao would suddenly come back and not be able to find her. She directly switched to telecommuting. Now everything in the cultivation world was normal. Everything was gradually on the right track. Yinran did not have any actual position in the national department, but in fact, the control of the cultivation world was in her hands alone. She integrated the 4 aristocratic families of the East, West, North, and South. All the cultivators entered her school for a brand new training. She wrote the content of the training into a lesson plan and selected a group of outstanding teachers. At the same time, she also compiled some of the essence of cultivation in the hibiscus score into a cultivation tutorial, so that the cultivators under her could not only cultivate their minds, but also their bodies. The cultivation world returned to its roots and completely withdrew from the country's economic field. Yinran's philosophy was that the army should act like an army. They should not enter fields that they were not good at. This also prevented people from abusing their power for personal gain, like the aristocratic families of the East. The country's higher-ups were very satisfied with Yinran's series of policies. Originally, they were a little worried about managing this group of people with special abilities. Now with Yinran, they had become the country's most advantageous blade. Chapter 316. Originally, the higher-ups wanted to transfer Yinran to the northern city, but Yinran refused. "I'll think about it after my wedding." She only remembered that Xiao Xiao had promised in front of the whole country that they would get married next year, which was this year. She had no idea about the specific date. One day, she was busy writing a lesson plan when she suddenly remembered that there was a mannequin at home with a meridian diagram marked on it. She remembered that it was in the storage room. There was no one at home, so she had to look for it herself. However, she found that the door of the storage room was locked. She couldn't find the key, so Yinran had to use her spiritual power to open the door. After entering, she found that the storage room was different from before. It was full from top to bottom. Out of curiosity, she flipped from the top to the bottom and found that they were all precious gifts, as well as many property certificates. This made Yinran very surprised. One after another, some of them were things she had never heard of before. Could it be that her family was doing something shady behind her back? Yinran didn't dare to think further. She was working hard in the front line, but the backyard was on fire. That night, Yengua's parents, who had been busy all day, finally settled on the wedding venue. Yengua also went with them. They went to many houses before finally deciding on the most cozy location. The 3 of them opened the door while talking and laughing. After turning on the lights, they found Yinran sitting in the living room at home. Her face was as dark as the bottom of a pot, and her whole body was as cold as ice. When Yengua's parents and Yengua saw her, they were shocked. Their daughter had never been so cold. Mother Yin felt that something was wrong. She quickly sat beside Yinran. "What's wrong?" "Yinran, what's wrong?" "Mom, you all sit on the opposite side." They looked at Yinran's cold face. They looked at each other and sat on the opposite side obediently. Even Yengua wanted to call her sister, but she choked in her throat. Yinran threw the property certificates in her hand on the tea table in front of her. "Where did these properties come from?" "Yinran, how can you talk to your parents like that? Why do you make it sound like you're scolding a criminal?" Father Yan's face darkened. "Our family's identity is special. I think you all know that. I'm now reorganizing the cultivation world. And everything is developing in a good direction. I don't want something to happen to our family. Yinran took a deep breath and suppressed the anger in her heart. During this period of time, she really couldn't suppress her anger. Father Yin and Mother Yin looked at each other and remained silent. The fire in Yinran's heart burned fiercely. She suddenly roared, "Speak." Yingua's parents were shocked. Yingua couldn't stand it anymore. "Sister, you've gone too far. You're just a child, so don't interrupt." Yinran patiently asked again. "Dad, Mom, if you've really done something wrong, then we'll find a way to make up for it now and return it to them. We can't spoil the atmosphere of the cultivation world. If you've agreed to their request, tell me and I'll find a way to solve it." "No, it's not like that. Yinran, you misunderstood. But we promised them that we can't say it." Mother Yin whispered. Her daughter's aura was getting stronger and stronger, which made her mother a little scared. "Why can't you say it? Did you take care of it for them?" Yinran thought in the best direction. "No, someone gave it to us, but it's clean. There's no problem." Father Yin now knew the whole story. He relaxed and leaned on the sofa, watching his daughter being slapped in the face. "I don't believe it. Who would give us such precious things without asking for anything?" "Well, it's not that he didn't ask for anything. He asked for the most precious thing in our family." Yinran was stunned. Looking at her father's playful eyes, a bold guess flashed wildly in her mind. Mother Yin said to Yinran seriously, Okay, Yinran. You should be punished for doubting us. We're not such people in our family. We know what to do and what not to do. We promised to keep it a secret, so we can't say it." Yen Guo was a little unhappy at this time. "Sister, we've been busy all day for you, but you come back and blame us. We're so sorry." Yenran looked at her parents' loving eyes and Yen Guo's unconvinced look. Her guess seemed to be confirmed. "Is it? Xiao Xiao?" Father Yin and Mother Yin smiled and nodded. "We didn't say it. Our daughter is too smart. These are your betrothal gifts." Yinran's face turned red in an instant. She lowered her voice and mumbled, "I'm sorry, Dad, Mom. I was too impatient just now. I really didn't think that I would be confused by the matters of the cultivation world every day." Yengua jumped up at this time. "Sister, you're so embarrassing. Ha ha ha, I'm dying of laughter." Yinran was so embarrassed that she wanted to hide under the table. "When did this happen?" "Xiao Xiao didn't tell me. Brother Xiao said he would give you a surprise. But I think this surprise didn't surprise you. Instead, it scared us first. Look at the betrothal gifts he gave you. They are so precious that they almost plucked the stars from the sky." Yengua finally could say it after holding it in for so many days. All right, Yinran, don't be so flustered all day. I've already kept your betrothal gifts for you. I'll give you the list later. Take a good look at it yourself and see how well Xiao Xiao treats you. She even said that she wanted to give you a surprise and asked us to keep it a secret. We went to choose the venue today. We're so tired. Let's go and rest." Mother Yin pulled Father Yin upstairs. Yinran finally reacted. "Mom, what day is it?" "New Year's Day." Yinran got under the quilt and looked at the thick red list of betrothal gifts in her hand. She looked at Xiao Zhao's naughty smile on the phone and covered her head with the quilt. Silent tears slid down her face. Xiao Zhao's sudden disappearance drove Zhang Diang crazy. "Sister Yinran, we're preparing to promote Brother Qiao. His variety show is about to be aired. We've prepared several offline fan meetings. Look, he's not here. What should we do? Cancel it first." "Xiao Xiao went abroad for business," Yinran replied expressionlessly. "He went abroad again. Which country is he going to this time? When will he come back?" Zhang Diang was so anxious that he stomped his feet. "He'll be back when he's done. If there's any documents to sign, I'll sign them for him." Zhang Diang coughed violently. "Sister Yinran, he won't be gone for 2 years again, right? The sky is falling. No, he wouldn't dare. If he doesn't show up for our wedding in 2 months, he'll never see me again in this life." Zhang Diang immediately stuttered. "Yinran, Sister Yinran, you know when you're getting married?" "I know. When I got home, I saw the betrothal gift he sent." Yinran gritted her teeth and said, "All of you hid it from me. See if I don't skin him when he comes back. Although Yinran's words were ruthless, she wasn't sure at all. She was cheering herself on. Even Uncle Wu had left. Everything felt like a dream. The 7 years that Uncle Wu had appeared in her life had passed in a flash. Other than the sadistic and affectionate feelings that were engraved in the bottom of her heart, he did not even leave behind a shadow of his back. Xiao Xiao stayed in the demon realm for a few more days. Other than Wenwan using him as a lab rat every day, he was counting the days. Seeing that his wedding day was getting closer and closer, he was already planning an escape plan. Uncle Wu silently appeared behind him. Young master, the magic doctor asked me to watch you. He won't let you go back. You can only leave after you're cured. Uncle Wu, other people don't know, but don't you know? Yinren and I are getting married on the first day of the new year. The day before New Year's Day, I left without saying a word. I don't know how Yinren will blame me. If I don't show up on my wedding day, then she probably won't want me anymore. Xiao Xiao complained to Uncle Wu. Your life is important. The crown princess won't abandon you. Tomorrow is the night of the full moon. Let's see if you can survive. After Uncle Wu said that, he disappeared without a trace. After being reminded by Uncle Wu, Xiao Xiao suddenly remembered that if he couldn't be cured tomorrow, he would have to sleep for 2 weeks. He would miss his wedding day. In an instant, he was as anxious as an ant on a hot pan. Today was the key day for him to prepare an escape plan while he was awake. If he woke up in 2 weeks, then he would go get married first, and then come back to treat it. Xiao Xiao called all the servants in the hall in. He said to Yu Er, who was in charge, Yu Er, I will be closed off for treatment for 2 weeks. Take them and pack everything I need in 2 weeks. Also, make me look perfect. When I wake up, put everything in the hall, and give it to Uncle Wu. If you do well, this crown prince will reward you greatly. After saying this, he took out a pen and paper. With a brush he wrote a list of several dozen pages. Yu Er and the servants' eyes almost popped out when they saw this. Your Highness, are you planning on moving the entire Crown Prince's hall? How do I move the Crown Prince's hall? These are all small things. Pack a few big bags for me and give them to Uncle Wu. Your Highness, are you going to the human world again? Can you bring me along? You also need someone to take care of you. Yu Er boldly said to the Crown Prince with a red face. Xiao Xiao narrowed his eyes. Fuck, your thoughts aren't small. You want to make Yinren angry, isn't that just asking for a beating? However, he couldn't say that he was going to the human world again. Yu Er, it's not me who's going. It's Uncle Wu. You should prepare the things and give them to Uncle Wu. Didn't I just say it? Then why does your Highness want to dress you up so perfectly? A servant asked in a strange voice. What's wrong with dressing up perfectly? Your crown prince is naturally charming. No matter how he dresses up, it's not too much. Why do you have so much to say? Have you all become bold after I've been gone for so long? Why do you all have so many questions? Xiao Xiao deliberately put on a stern face, scaring the servants into not daring to make a sound. And Yu Er, if this matter isn't done well, I will directly marry you off to the crown prince's chef. Yu Er's legs trembled in fear, and she immediately kneeled down. Your Highness, I promise to complete this task. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe, and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.